Wicked Wins, episode 17. I killed one, guys. I finally killed one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We got him.
We got him.
Who did I kill? Somebody want to tell me? Somebody want to recap? Or you all just want to keep leaving this game without a recap?
So much as he, stubbed his toe on a rock and bled out.
I don't know. I forgot his name already.
Wow.
Damn.
I gallantly saved the party, I think, with that sacrificial maneuver. I think that was partly because maybe Felix felt bad that he forced everyone down there, so he wanted to try and, take a hold of the situation and kind of get everyone out of it. And in doing so, he caused his own death.
Well, you know, history goes to the victors, right? Not to those who fell in battle and...
True. I guess they could carry the story up however they want.
Not only that, we are evil. What did we learn, guys? No self-sacrifice.
Yeah, I think the ultimate lesson we learned there is not playing to your alignment will get you killed.
Or, don't be a petty pretty boy and let the witch scar you.
That also would have saved you.
Sure, but that was playing to your character, right? He wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. Either way, I am proud of myself, even if somebody wants to claim it was nothing but someone stubbing their own toe. But we are... Everybody's in a better place now, right? You're all safe and secure, hanging out back where you guys all performed that little ritual.
Yeah, well, we have slept at the devil floor, several times, so maybe it is our new home.
It's almost like home, except that things can still invade it. And actually, while you guys are down there, we have a short conversation about this. There are areas throughout the game, as you're delving through here, that you can either temporarily or permanently claim to be your own. But you would need to have some way to properly and effectively secure those areas, so it is unlikely that something would be able to come in. Right now, literally anything can come in the front door and get you. This is the reason that this is not a secure environment. But you've been able to rest here just with the worry that, we still need to keep watch, we still have to do these things. When the risk goes low enough, you can use the area. This would include things like making sure the door is appropriately locked, potentially trapping the area, or finding an outcropping so far away and mixing it with these things that you don't have to worry about the risk. So this is something to think about as you start delving through here. There is room to potentially find places that you could rest if the risk is minimized. This will allow you to delve deeper into the dungeons.
Well, interestingly, do we see any sort of mechanism on the inside of this area to because we had to do special magic to get in here. So can we tell if when we're inside, if we can close it off and still be able to let ourselves out when we're ready to go?
Nothing you've seen so far shows you any sign of being able to do that.
I mean, I would suggest to someone to maybe look around specifically that area, because theoretically, if we can figure out if there's a way to close the door from the inside and then let ourselves back out from the inside, it's gonna take a decently intelligent and magic user to figure out how to get back in here.
Yeah. So one of the things that you know for certain, because you guys did fully take 20 on all the rooms within the building, is that the reset mechanism doesn't seem to be something inside. So something else must create the reset. But you do have something new this time that you didn't have the last time you were thinking about resting.
In the bag?
That all of you have been carrying around for a little while while you explored Depth 6.
Some the books or things or we found in here. There was books, and then there was the...
Well, you'd already gotten those, and you'd rested in between
Okay.
there to resummon somebody. And then engage with that person. Or that creature. So
Yeah, we got the when we resummoned that monster, we got what we came down here for. It looked like that was a book, right?
that was a book. Yep.
So we could study the book maybe and see if that explains how to properly use the store.
Yeah, is there anything, or like what would be the check to try to discern things from this book?
So the first thing that we know that you guys know about the book
Oh wait, we can't look at it.
is that there is a penalty for using the book.
Yeah.
What do we
If you
know
look
the
at it,
penalty
that's
for
not
using the book is?
It was. I'm trying to find my notes on it.
There's some will save.
Yeah.
But wasn't that that was the other book that we found, the necromancy book? We didn't actually look at the book from the demon. We didn't or whatever it was. We haven't actually looked at that book, I don't think. Did we?
I don't know.
You're right. Maybe you did not. Maybe it was only
Yeah.
the one
I don't think
necromancy
so,
coded
yeah.
book.
Yeah, we just looked at
Okay.
that necromancy book that we tried to learn. That's where we learned the ritual.
So, I mean, I think I would probably try to look at the book, but I'd look at the cover first and see if it seems like there's any weird things on it, like because the necromancy book had weird stuff on the cover.
Yeah. So you can actually. I'm trying to remember because I think. Sorry, it did the thing with my notes where my notes are out of order. I have like a note from months ago at the top. But I thought there was actually an issue. Who has that bag of holding?
I have the regular bag of holding.
The one that you got from that had the book
The
in it.
one that had the form.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't
the
know who
ritual
took
bag
that.
of holding? No, I
Yes.
just have the regular one.
I don't know who was that one.
I don't have it.
Let me check the Felix sheet.
Did Felix have it?
Because you would have picked it
I
up.
see a bag of holding in my character's.
Okay, then you do, because I also have one.
Yeah, we don't have two. So
Because
think
I
you have
thought
one.
one of the issues you guys were having is not being able to properly pull it out of your book, or pull the object out of the thing.
I thought.
Oh no, you guys turned it inside out. That's
turn it inside out and
correct.
empty it out.
We did have an initial trouble getting it out. Everyone was like,
yes.
"Oh, we do this."
That's
and
why. That's where I'm
I can't
thinking of it.
remember. Someone said they just throw it out. Or
Yeah, you turn it inside out, and that basically rids the stuff of the book.
Or actually, I
Of the-
probably have the ritual one, don't I? Because I was bringing it back to the Lars. So yeah, you probably
Probably.
got the regular one, and I got the ritual one.
But yeah, so you can look over the book.
I'm gonna write that this is the ritual one on my sheet.
Okay. The cover of the book seems like. Oh, this really sucks. Hang on, let me make sure I didn't put this in my one of the other notes categories. Need to get better at this part. I just fucked up. Alright, well, I'll set it now, and then we'll correct it in the universe when I need to correct it in the universe. So the book is a very thick book with a sort of leather-bound and wooden cover that wraps around it. And it is clasped off on two sides. The book does not open under normal circumstances. You can't simply open it traditionally. You need something to be able to get into the book.
Like an item, or does it seem like just some sort of condition?
The clasps don't seem like they have any sort of locking mechanism. They seem like it's just sealed. So if you're supposed to get into this book, there's no way to physically open the book because
This
it is
is not something I
locked
could
in
try to
itself.
look at and disarm.
You could give it a shot. It would be very difficult to do, though, you're pretty sure, but you could try.
I will do that. So it's disable device?
Disable
or...
device? No. You looking at this, without mechanisms that you can actually move or unhinge, this thing seems impossible.
I'll hand it to Silvio and see if he's able to open it. I don't know. My assumption is maybe it can only be opened by a Lars follower.
Yeah, you will hand the book to Silvio, and the class will, release.
Haha!
Nice.
All right, now put it down and let me look at it.
Does Silvio put down the book, or does Silvio hold on to the book?
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it down. We're trying to do something.
Yeah, when you put down the book will slam shut and seal.
Okay, all right, just hold it open and hold it up. It's like, this is how this is gonna go.
Yeah. If he does that, you can like kind of pen through it. And as you're doing that, I will need a will save from you.
From both of us? Or
Nope, just from Luna.
Damn.
Luna.
Damn.
The words within this book, like as you're kind of going through this, there's a lot of symbology more than there is words. So a lot of this is like interpreting things or pictures or other things. There's some text, but the text doesn't make entire sense at first upon looking at it. But like you like get a couple of pages in, and like stuff starts to feel comfortable. Stuff starts to feel like it makes sense even without words. You definitely feel like a strong camaraderie towards Silvio and towards other followers of Lars.
I mean, well, I'm already fucking a bunch of them, so whatever, you know.
For the purposes of the next 24 hours, you will regard all followers of Lars as friendly and can take no hostile or other negative action towards them.
Alright.
But unfortunately, the book doesn't give you answers in its current state, as whatever this is written in is not something that you can recognize. You do get the idea from looking at some of these things that there are definitely like gestures and postures, like if you were doing different rituals, or like you can see pictures of like where to cut your hand or your arm or your neck or your head or other places in order to like extract the blood in the correct way.
Creepy.
But the descriptions don't list in any language you understand.
What
they are.
languages do you understand?
Not a lot. Common, Draconic, and Terran.
You're 100% sure, Rusty, that this book it's not a language problem.
Okay.
This book is ciphered.
And as you look at it,
No, well, so there's no amount of linguistics check that I could do that would
You can
give me-
try a linguistics check, but you are going to need to give me a will save if you're going to do that.
It's not worth it.
Like, if you come near the book, you'll start getting a feeling that kind of washes over you.
I don't really love Lars. I don't.
I mean, I don't think you would know that that's what it does.
I guess that's true. You know what?
'Cause
Why?
I don't
I'll
even
just-
think I would really realize what's happening to
Yep.
me. I just, kind of one of those subtle things.
You know what? Why not? I'll try it.
All
Even
right,
though
give
I
me that
know
will
it's going
save,
to go
Rusty.
poorly. Will save first?
Yep, will save first.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Why did that come up as Felix?
I don't.
Oh, and that
No.
drop-down box below your name, or below the chat,
Oh,
can
wait,
you
oh,
switch
I
that
see
to
what I
be...
did.
He's dead.
I forgot. I just clicked on the first name that I saw.
How
Um,
dare you.
So, yeah, you will also have the same condition. You feel a lot more friendly with Silvio. But yeah, now
Okay.
you can give me a linguistics check.
All right.
I'm so dumb. If I tried to read it, I'd probably hurt myself.
With an 18, you can at least decipher... Like, you notice that some of the symbols remind you of the way the runes looked on the door. So you can find the area of the book that you know has something to do with the door. But in terms of decoding it, right now you cannot identify how this is written or how this is referencing. But
Well,
you
at
know
least
there
we
is
have an
definitely a way to
idea.
rearm this.
At least we have an idea, and maybe that's something like, well, I don't know. We know if we're going to be giving this book up, right? When we bring the stuff back, they're taking this book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so, I mean, maybe we, over the next, we don't exactly have a timeline on bringing the book back, so maybe we keep it around long enough for you to kind of decode this page, see if we can figure out how to relock this room, and then we can use it in the future.
We could certainly
If I
give
was
us
to
more
give
once
him
overs.
guidance, would I give him another roll?
That
Or
would
just-
not give him another roll. Nope.
I didn't think so.
Not in this particular case. More time can be spent studying it at whatever the consequences may or may not be of reading the book for a longer period of time. But that requires the party to be willing to devote some time to letting him study it, and other things may happen in the process. This is not a do or do not. This is just me letting you know that these are what we'll have to check for as time goes on.
For
I
now,
mean, I feel like in character, if we know that this has something to do with deciphering this door, and we know we have to give the book back, like, we would want to try to decode it as much as possible. And we don't really realize the effects on us at the moment until maybe we're forced with actually realizing that, like, oh, we want to help Lars people.
Okay.
I mean, so I would feel like I would be a proponent of, like, we should study this book while we have it and see if we can figure out how to make this door work.
Okay. How do the rest of you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're gonna give the temple the book, so if we want this info, now is the time to get it.
Baby, you can't come over here right now. Are you ready? Are you get dressed?
Okay. How about you? God damn it! Now I'm forgetting everybody's name. Higram. I almost called you by the name you have on your Discord.
As usual, pretty indifferent.
Okay. So you could take it or leave it, which means if the rest of the party is wanting to kind of review it, you'll kind of stick with
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I'll keep watch. So to make sure
Alright.
nothing comes and eats our face.
So, well, you guys are then going to do that. Why don't we jump to a new face? Astrum. You have located this lone body that you've resurrected. You could see like a lot of acid dripping from it, and know that usually that is a sign that you have yourself a particularly useful corpse that you can use. Much of the flesh had rotted away, but a lot of stuff was surprisingly left behind, and some of it didn't fully decompose.
So they actually just left the whole body there? I thought they brought it with them.
No,
No?
they
Oh,
brought
okay.
they brought your stuff with you. So the like valuable stuff that you had, they took and left the rest behind.
So what exactly is left behind that I could yoink from this corpse?
It's clothed. Sort of like they're eaten away a lot by the acid. I think for the most part they took the stuff, any other stuff of value.
Like all the miscellaneous stuff in the back, like I just pick this backpack up and transfer all that over?
No, they definitely took. I do remember them saying they took the backpack.
Oh, they took the backpack?
Yeah, and the
assume
smuggler's
the spell
pouch. Was the spell book in a different container? No, it was in your backpack, right?
No, it was in a waterproof bag, but I'm sure they
Okay.
probably would have grabbed it.
Yeah, I think most of what you're getting here is just the clothes. Do you guys know if you guys would have taken like the book of names in the history book?
I thumbed through it out of curiosity because I wanted to know what we were down here for. I didn't necessarily keep it.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's safe to assume that there's like a book of names and a book of like Lars history that's also laying down here.
I don't. Is there some way I would know if this is interesting to my character? Would he already know this stuff? Would he care about this? I don't know.
So do you have any ranks in knowledge history?
Yes, I do.
Give me a knowledge history check. Ooh.
Oh,
So you would know that this like this book of the Cult of Lars is an interesting thing to come across, largely because this cult had been operating for a long time. You guys were for the most part, your people were kind of much further down below. But you during this time, your society had been slowly migrating more of your kind up. So there were a lot of Darrow and Durgar that were gradually integrating themselves into the Dwarven society that kind of built the upper echelons of this like underground city. And the Cult of Lars was one of those things where your society had lost a lot of people to it, because a lot of the ethos of Lars can be adopted very, very strongly into the following of laws. And so there was a lot of like crossover between the two and a lot of conversion, and a lot of people lost. The other thing is that no one was ever able to find who or where these people were. So to find a book like this is kind of like it's like a little something extra special, because it shouldn't exist outside of wherever it was kept. So these people would know where potentially a long hidden treasure could be.
Yeah, then I will scoop these books up. They seem interesting. And yeah, I guess I animate one of my undead here with this spell.
Yeah. As you like bring it back up, the acid, the oozy acid that's kind of wrapped around it kind of forms with it. There seems to be something about this body that is really deeply connected to acid in some way. And its mouth like slowly kind of drips acid down that like perpetually runs down its skin. And you can see like there's little drips of acid that like kind of leak from the palms of its hands. You would know this to mean that this thing can probably toss a ball or two of acid as its primary attack. And that it should be a little more resistant to acid effects.
Excellent. I think I want to flavor the way this spell works, if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I just like, I have some onyx gems, and I kind of, as I chant the words, they start to dissolve a bit, and I kind of like crush them, and then I'm like sprinkling it over the body. And I guess depending on how strong the corpse is, how much diamond or onyx dust I use. So I use about 4 chunks of it or whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess could I? I guess if I look at his character sheet, could I make him carry my shit?
Yes, he is capable of carrying things. If you put them over capacity, they're obviously not like proficient with stuff or anything like that per se. So they might take penalties, or it might be problematic because they are just a pile of bones.
Okay.
So I might rule like if you give him like twice his weight in gear or something like that he just
I
falls
just don't want to
apart,
encumber myself.
Yeah.
Isn't that one like leaking acid though?
Yeah, like is the acid gonna burn through? Like if I throw?
No,
if I
the acid is like
backpack-
coming down the front of it or coming out of the hands. It's not like all over the thing.
All right, I'm gonna sling my backpack over it and say, "You're gonna carry this for me, friend."
It will look at you and.
And yeah, I'm gonna put these books on his character sheet so I don't have to be encumbered. But yeah, I guess curiosity takes. I guess I didn't really think about why. So I guess I've set out to adventure away from my people. Basically, I guess out of curiosity's sake, and to gather, I guess, more knowledge for myself, to gain more spells, gain more power. So I guess I'm curious of like what this guy's story is, why he was just left here. I can tell. I work with corpses.
Yep.
It seems like a relatively fresh body. It's not like
This
here
is
for 8 years or whatever, right?
No, this has probably been like maybe an hour or two at best. You can actually still see the like puddles of what they fought here. And if these people were able to defeat these creatures, then they're probably like substantially powerful people and might have resources that you could gain value from.
Excellent. Well, I don't suppose you could tell me where your friends are. I can assume you are down here by yourself.
Chatter.
Well, I went as well as I hope. And I guess I'll do my best to try and follow some sort of trail or anything that was left behind by the party. I don't know if I could surmise where they went or...
Yeah, give me Do you have any ranks in perception or survival?
Perception, yes.
All right, give me a perception check. Yeah, very good roll. So one of the things is they were all pretty heavily covered in acid, and so there's like just enough like splorches of acid footprints to give you like a general idea of the relative route that they take back. As you're traveling, you'll notice in the distance as well that there is a rather large giant-like creature. Like it would be about 9 or 10 feet tall if it were awake, but it is sleeping as peacefully as possible there. And there's like a puddle of some kind of liquid on the ground not far from it.
And I should be familiar with like the bestiary of this area, right? Because I'm like from this.
You got any ranks in knowledge to engineering?
I do not. Wait, that's my skeleton boy. Dungeoneering, I don't have any ranks.
Okay. You can give me a knowledge local, then I'll give you here as well, if you have any ranks in that.
No, I don't have either.
Okay. So you're
I'm
not
not familiar.
Yeah, you're not exactly sure about this thing. I think some things we can rule that you are, some things you probably haven't seen, and this is one that doesn't normally approach where there are people.
Right, but I'd be aware that there were like when I see the acid, I would be like, oh, those are probably oozes that they fought or something, right?
That's very obvious.
So yeah, I guess I follow the acidy trail and I look above me to the acids or acid oozes that I know inhabit this place and try to proceed cautiously.
Yeah, but you approach this giant situation where there is just this giant resting in this hallway.
Right, yeah. I push my skeleton friend first to pass by and see if it wakes up.
Roll me a stealth check for your skeleton. Yeah.
Oh.
Fate is reasonably kind to you as the skeleton just kind of like moves its way past it.
Excellent. I will cautiously follow my scout.
Yep.
You want a stealth check from
Give
my
me a stealth check from you. Yep.
Oh,
even better.
Okay, I like this new character so far.
You easily slip past this giant. I was kind of hoping one of you would botch so I can have one of you slip on the fluid, but guess that's not going to happen. Yeah, you can slip by this thing. It is sleeping like the most peacefully you have ever seen a creature sleep in this dungeon in like just a random hallway. You've never walked by and seen anything just like casually taking a nap in the middle of the hall, but here you are. And you can easily follow the rest of this path, the rest of the way back. You can see like basically the trail starts to grow a little bit thin, but as it does, down a hallway, you will see like a little bit of runes lit up around a corner up here. And we can bring you onto the map. Oh, you didn't give yourself hit points. Why don't you roll up some hit points while we bring
that's
you
right.
onto the
I
map?
need to do that. So first level is max, right?
First level is max.
Okay. And what is witch again? I think it's is it really a D6? Yeah,
It's a D6.
Probably. You're arcane caster.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Look, back in my day, they were D4s and we liked it.
I was just about to say.
Did you like it?
So I'm rolling.
You did actually.
For 4 levels, so 4d6.
Yep. Roll me 4d6.
4d6. Here we go. Let's go. Big money.
Ooh,
So
that would be a
one
good
and a
score
half.
if we were rolling characters.
True.
You do get to
Don't
reroll the
forget
one.
Reroll the not one. Nice.
Yep. Because I'm a generous GM.
Oh God.
You do not get to reroll that one though.
Oh damn. All right.
Yep.
So it's just the flat 17 then.
Yep.
Plus the 7
Well,
starting.
And the Finding Helene, because it's your favorite class as witch, I assume.
Yes.
Nope.
So
He made his
that'll be-
favorite class giant.
That's that, and plus another 5. So total 29 max hit points.
Nice. Very squishy, just the way I like my PCs.
Yeah, I have my guy go. I'm gonna say I want him 30 feet in front of me.
Okay. Yeah, you can move him however you want. We'll assume that the easiest place to deal with this whole book situation is that Rusty and Silvio are probably up here, since Silvio has to hold the book open. But you can use the lectern. Like, you find that you can, Silvio, you can keep your hand on the book while Rusty, like, pages through the book. Where would Luna be during this time? I know, Higram, you said you're watching the door.
Oh, she's AFK still.
We'll have Luna probably near him. But put yourself wherever you'd be, Higram, watching the door.
Actually, that's probably about right.
Okay.
I wouldn't get too close, but
Yeah.
reasonable distance.
All right, then go ahead and move things around there, Astrum.
Yeah, so we're walking
It
up.
looks like I'm getting ambushed.
You're not
It's,
getting ambushed, but it's going to be one of those things, like, at this point, you would, like, be able to see out and see this skeleton coming to view.
A skeleton you recognize.
Yeah, a skeleton that is dressed surprisingly like Felix.
Oh wait, he would stay. You said these were glowing, right?
Yeah, these are glowing.
Oh yeah, so okay, I would want him to stop here, and then I would approach. I don't know if Hikram's doing something. If you want me to stop.
Well, I would have just been like, maybe we should have took the body with us.
Yeah, you can hear something say that from within the corridor, Astrum.
Speaking common.
Yep.
Oh, hello. I'll take a step behind the skeleton because I don't. Who are you?
Step between the rooms. It's definitely safe.
I
Should roll a
squint.
bluff? I'm basically
I detect
trying to make
magic.
him afraid to come closer.
He starts casting a spell.
I don't have anything. I can't do anything.
Okay.
I literally, like, to be honest, my character cannot see that far.
Okay.
So I just saw a skeleton come up, like, ugh.
Yeah, you kind of like seeing outlines it, because you don't have dark vision, that's right. So the only thing illuminating is the runes, just giving you enough of an outline to see things. So yeah, you hear the casting of a spell, and then you see a set of glowing eyes in the darkness. And yeah, you can see the runes do have some light to them. And you can see that, what's the range on dark vision? 30 feet?
60 feet.
Is it 60 feet?
I don't even have. Did I write this on my? I should have dark vision, right? I just can't see it on my.
Or not dark vision, I'm sorry, detect magic.
Oh yeah, that's 60 feet.
Okay. So you can see that there is some magic on 2 people in the distance as well.
Oh, and the runes are magic as well, right?
And the runes are magic as well, yep.
Who
But the magic on them now is very, very faint.
What do you want?
Well,
I'm gonna cast light on myself.
All right.
ah!
Suddenly,
This is regular
for a
light.
moment, everything gets very bright.
Are you trying to blind someone over here?
Who's over there? Wait, can you cast light into an area?
No, you have to
Object.
touch an object. So you could you could cast it on something and then throw it over there.
Is there any, like, dirt or something around? Or,
There's like little
pebble?
pebbles you could pick up.
yeah, I'm gonna toss it, like, over here with a pebble.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah, light on the
grab
pebble.
something and throw it in there. Grab a little rock here. One sec.
I think light is just like a torch, so it wouldn't, like, be super blinding.
No, but it's still 20 feet of light, so.
No, I meant for him, like, he wouldn't be like, ah!
Oh no, and he doesn't suffer from light blindness anyway, but if you go from pitch black to light, that's
Oh,
still
light all of a sudden.
yeah.
Oh,
That
there
rock
you
is
are.
not that big, by the way. It just doesn't want to scale down well.
Yeah,
Throws a boulder of light at him. What the hell is this?
How about you? That should give you a little bit more visibility.
yeah.
Oh, I can see like all the way down. I don't know if I should be able to see that.
Your your dark vision is 120 feet, correct?
I don't even remember. Is it double that?
I thought
For a
for a
drow,
drow they have
120
120 feet.
I don't know why I didn't write this in my character sheet. Let me just double check. I think you're right. You're right. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you should be able to see like most of the way.
Oh damn. Okay. I'm a fucking god. I can see more though. I see all the way.
Yeah, that you probably. Oh, because one of them has light. One of them has
it's
a source of
extending
light.
it from the light.
Yep.
Guys, we've got a
Is this?
who's that? Necromancer here.
That's very presumptuous of you.
There's a
Accurate.
skeleton that used to be with us.
Oh, he belonged to you. You just left his body there in the room just down the hall.
He was done with it. What was I supposed to do with his body?
Oh no, I'm not complaining. I just made use of it. I was looking for the group that fled the scene. I assume that's you from what you just said.
Yes. We're trying to figure out how to get out of this room without the runes killing us.
I'm closing the book and going over there.
Okay.
Thank you. Jeez,
Yeah,
I
you
was
lift
like,
your hand off the book and you head on over. Go ahead, move yourself up.
Well, so I'm closing the book, putting it in the bag, and then going over there.
Okay. Yeah, so Rusty,
Yeah.
you're like looking at the book, and then Silvio just like snatches the book up.
I'm trying to procrastinate so they can come over here. I'm like,
Do I
sure,
notice
we
this
don't explode.
book closing and all that?
Yeah, you can probably manage to make that out. They close up something and then come forward.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Seems like you're doing something very interesting over there. But it seems like you're down a person and perhaps you need some help getting back out of here.
What's your name, friend?
You may call me Sen.
All right.
You said Sen or Thin?
CEN. I'm just shortening my last name.
Okay.
I don't want to give my real name to you.
Yeah,
guys.
for sure. I
Well,
appreciate that.
it's somewhat my real name.
I might be moving in and doing a psychic reading. So let me.
All right.
Okay, so I got
On your Psychic Friends network.
So I can do it at 45
that's
feet
clear.
away.
All
So
right.
let's see.
Gotta get in there close then. Call him now for your free reading.
Miss Cleo.
This one's me, by the way. That's the dead Felix.
Skelly boy.
Dead Felix Society. All right.
So what are you doing down here? I'm just trying to distract them while you guys are doing whatever.
Yeah. Well, I live deeper down, and I've decided to leave home for a bit, see what's going on the surface.
Yeah,
And
while
some
this is
new-
happening, go ahead and roll me that sense motive. I'm sorry, continue.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, do I have any way to know this is happening, or resist this, or?
This is not, if I remember right, this is a supernatural ability. Let me double check this real quick. Hang on. King Kong Monk. However you say that correctly. Activation.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
Oh no, they are spell-like abilities.
Subject to spell resistance, because then you have to roll a caster level check.
Is this spell subject to it?
It
is.
is. Says it
in
Roll
its
me,
text.
roll me a caster level check. So just D20 plus your level, because it uses your class as your caster level.
I will fail.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
But I'm going to try to identify the spell being cast at me.
Yeah, I think you'd recognize it to be psychic reading.
I would prefer this not to be done to me, friend. More polite to ask when you're targeting a spell at someone. Have you no manners?
Listen, safety first.
Exactly. Had I been a poorer arcane user, I could have thought you were threatening me. That would have ended poorly for everyone here.
So you said you live deeper in?
Yes, I'll take a step forward to maybe like go into the light a bit more, and you can kind of see my complexion. I'll kind of just like vaguely motion at my skin and say, "I'm not sure if you've been acquainted with one like me before, but we typically dwell deep within the earth. Perhaps you've never ventured as far. I looked about the party. Are you all human-ish, or what
I
races
am
are
a
yours?
halfling.
Halfling.
I'm a human. I think.
Human.
No.
If you're not familiar with halflings, you might think I'm a child.
I think I have a high end. I think I would know what halflings are. I was gonna make some joke about it, but then I was like,
Yeah,
no,
that's what I
you
was
know.
thinking.
Like, why do you have this small child with you?
Why are you
I'm pretty
talking
sure
to kids?
my
Get
character
off
should
my
probably
phone.
know what halflings are. Or
Okay.
whatever.
I mean, you
I-
might confuse him for either Spinner Fliblin or one of the other types, but you might also know what Halfling is.
Most of you seem like you are probably maybe not familiar. Before I answer that, I guess, is it like well known that like, people should fear Drow, or do I not care about this? Or
So, different people are going to think different things. So, you know that these people are at least skilled warriors because they did down those oozes. So, they can't. There's probably good reason they're not implicitly afraid of you. Especially since it's one of you and one skeleton and not like a whole army of drow showing up. But it would theoretically to most people be a very scary thing to suddenly see drow in most circumstances.
I am similar to you. Probably heard of elves. Kind of similar, but more elegant, more sophisticated. You may have heard of us. We're referred to as Drow. I kind of gauge their reactions, not I mechanically gauge, but perception, maybe just see if anyone seems frightened or
My
grasps a
character
blade.
wouldn't know anything at all about Drow. He's just like, oh.
I imagine I know
whatever.
something, but not enough to like care either way.
Luna
Okay.
just looks very intrigued.
I bet.
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
is
I know
it? What is
about
it, like knowledge dungeoneering or something?
In this case, it would be knowledge history. Drow are a historic race.
Yeah, I don't have that.
With regard to Rusty, Rusty, you've actually indirectly had dealings with Drow, so you are aware from your
okay, good.
connections of what Drow are, and they're the kind of people that you always want as allies and not as enemies. Drow can get you access to a lot of useful things, but wronging a Drow is basically a death sentence. Rumors circulate a lot about like Drow assassination groups that exist for people who back out or try to modify a deal made directly or indirectly with a Drow. Luna, you would know that Drow have technically made it to the surface, and there are Drow that live among people with that 24 in history. But many of those Drow keep their identities a secret as best they can. But you've probably met with one or two while you were working in the temple before.
I've met a few like you from my temple. You're not as rare as you think you are.
Oh, excellent. So it's a good sign when I mentioned my race and you all didn't flee. You're more reasonable than I initially gave you credit for. Perhaps my instincts were well thought, and perhaps you would be a good fit for my ventures. Assuming you need another person, it seems like this person died quite easily. Perhaps you need someone with a little more fortitude.
We can always use people for the party.
I'm actually going to glance over at Silvio.
Well, I mean, we could have him bring that skeleton back. That way we didn't lose Felix.
Oh, was that his name? Felix?
Yeah, probably.
Do you know why he's dripping acid? I've never seen...
Oh man, that guy loved acid.
Oh,
He
really?
did love acid.
Interesting.
Whether it was useful or not, I don't know.
I've never
Hey, he was
seen...
getting a lot stronger.
I've never seen an undead retain its properties from life. Or Have I seen something like that before?
It's an
Like,
extreme rarity. Like, you've
Rare.
read about it, not necessarily seen it.
what a rare occurrence. There must be a reason. Was he divine, or what kind of person was he in life?
Well, he certainly read a lot of books.
Hmm.
He's probably stronger now.
Most definitely. So read a lot of books. So he was a wizard,
He was a spellcaster of a sword.
spellcaster. Interesting. Perhaps his manner of death. Perhaps there were magics about him when he died, and something infused with him when I raised him. Very interesting. I'm gonna pull out, or I'm gonna make a hand motion to Felix Corpus to pull out a book from his backpack and hand it to me. And thank you, Felix.
That's a cool trick you got there.
I'll take the book and I'll just flip to an empty page, or I guess the only two books he has on him are the Book of Names and the volumes. Are there any empty pages I could?
There are
write on?
periodic empty pages, or pages where there's enough empty space if you wanted to write something down.
All right, yeah, I'll rip out an empty page and I'll close the book and write on the cover of the book with the page.
Okay.
So that I have like a hard surface to write on.
Yep.
I'll just start taking notes on this interesting phenomenon that I've seen.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so we didn't see any drow at the city that was one level above this. Or
No,
whatever?
you did. You did
Okay.
see there were some drow, there was some darrow, there was some durgard there.
Okay.
Was that Mapmaker Drow?
The mapmaker was drow,
Okay.
and
I
he
hand
was
it back.
the most greatest mapmaker, the best to all of his customers. So amazing in the customer service department, I swear.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that this is probably just somebody from one level up.
I hand the book back to Felix and wave a hand at him to.
Hello.
Excellent. So, are we in agreement? Are we to travel together? I can assist you to get back out of here and see where it goes from there. I'm interested in learning some more things while I'm up here. Perhaps I can accompany you on your travels. What is it exactly you were doing down here?
Is it gauge or insight to see if he's trying to murder us?
Gauge.
Is there some amount of knowledge?
Doesn't seem to be.
All right. I also have that gauge.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Is this
well.
somebody that I would want to bring?
He doesn't seem malicious. There's no hostile intent that you're perceiving in him at all. His tone seems reasonable. He seems like he's probably curious about things, and it is fortuitous that you lost a wizard and you gained what might be another wizard.
All right. Do you know anything about Lars?
What were you gonna say, Rusty?
I was going to say, do I know anything about how drow are perceived on the surface?
Yes. To most people, either they think of drow as a myth, like the boogeyman. Watch out, or the drow are gonna come assassinate you. Or you know them to be seedy operators that help connect people to things like drugs, poisons, or other illicit things.
Beer's good.
I guess I would know that too, right? How we're
Yeah.
perceived above, or okay,
Yep.
So I'll say, as I see them kind of unsure, I say, I see your hesitation. I know how I'll be perceived up there, but this is part of my mission as well, and somewhat of a self-made ambassador of my people. I'm gonna try and change how the surface dwellers see us. We might need to visit above once in a while, and I prefer not to be attacked on sight or little children screaming as I walk by, as we might want to do business up there eventually.
Tom, I believe you had a question in between there. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you know anything about Lars?
Oh, do I? I don't have any ranks in religion.
Then probably not. You can give me a flat knowledge religion roll. You know that Lars is... You know the basic stuff about Lars. Lars is a largely evil god that believes in sort of a... Not necessarily like a might makes right, but a might proves worth kind of value system.
I believe he's the god of fighting, proving one's worth in combat sort of god. I'm not a religious man myself, to be honest.
Yeah, so we're on a mission for Lars. Would you have any objections to that? If you were to come with us?
Your mission statement's quite vague. What exactly are you doing for Lars? Are you?
We work for the Lars Temple.
Oh, so whatever task they give you, you just carry out, I assume?
Yeah.
There's really good money in it.
That's really all I care about.
Like-minded people. I have no issues with this. As long as there's no order to go invade the Drow Society, I don't see why not. I can't accompany with you with any tasks the Lars Temple sees fit.
All right. So I'll gauge to see if he's being truthful here, that he doesn't care.
Yeah. What are kind of Astrom's thoughts on this?
I guess like he wouldn't want to sign himself over to just be like, oh yeah, you now are the Lars's property. He's okay like working with them on like a contract basis, like accepting tasks. But I don't think he'd want to be like subject to them, where like if he disobeyed them, he would be subject to like murder or something like that. Or
so you don't see any strong negative tells, Silvio, as you're looking at him. Like there's nothing dishonest in what he says, that he would be willing to work for this, and he would very likely keep in accordance with things. You figure he'd probably have less objections in some cases than even Felix would have had.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say to you guys, I don't have any objections bringing him with.
We asked him yet what he's good at doing, other than apparently controlling undead, I assume.
Oh yeah, what do you think you could bring to the party?
what can't I bring?
No, I want to know what you can bring.
If you were considered a class, what class would you be called? What did
know
you
what that
train
means.
to be?
I study in the arcane. I specialize in manipulating the undead, making them bow to my whims. This might be helpful to you if you plan on venturing down here further. There are many undead that crawl and creep around here. And just in
One
general.
left I'm taking. Sounds good
All
to
right.
me.
All right, and you have no objections with working for Lars. Does that mean you don't have a religion, or do you follow somebody kind of aligned with Lars?
That is an interesting question. Very philosophical. A little personal. Is it important to you who I give patron to?
Yep.
Nice. I look around and I see kind of everyone. Well, Higram specifically looked to Silvio as well. Like I kind of get the idea that like Silvio's the leader, right? Like everyone's kind of looking to him. He's the one asking the questions.
There's a lot of waiting for Higram's question, or a lot of waiting for Silvio's questions. So it does seem like Silvio's kind of guiding things, and Silvio seems the most interested in Lars, and is also the person who, and he said like they're on missions for Mars. So I think that's a fair thing to put together.
Mhm. I see you, the man running these things. You seem to be particularly
I give
devout.
a big eye roll at that.
You seem to be very devout to this Lars. As I mentioned, I'm not very religious, but I give patron to fate itself. I believe all of our selves are destined for things. Fight as we may, but I feel like our fates are set in stone. I believe perhaps me meeting all of you was fate.
All right. I'm going to knowledge religion. Is he talking about the 6?
You mean the 8?
The 8. Yeah. Sorry, the 8.
Yeah, you don't even need to knowledge religion. He is not talking about the 8 directly. You've heard about these kinds of people that roam around and they believe in abstract concepts instead of like something solid. They don't proclaim themselves connected to a god or a goddess, just simply an idea. You would get the idea from what he's explaining that he is probably not really of a religious order. He did say that he finds himself dabbling in the arcane. So I think there's a fairly good possibility that with that information aside in the gauge checks, that you can assume safely that he is very likely a practicer of a more
Unorthodox.
version of the arcane arts. Like there is probably something that he talks to from time to time that
I don't know how I feel about all this.
that tells him the true order of fate as he would perceive it.
Any other questions to put your mind at ease, or are we good to travel?
Do you have a familiar?
I do not, but I do carry around something a little similar. It's not for the squeamish to look at.
I'm not very squeamish. And I'll like pull out my familiar and just be like, "This is mine. What's yours?"
What's your familiar?
It's a raven on my shoulder.
Ah! That is a lot more lively than mine.
Yes, but I mean, they come in all shapes and sizes. What's yours?
Nevermore.
I raise an eyebrow and I guess it would be kept like in my robes or something, and I like reach into my robes and I pull out an inanimate puppet stitched from human skin and stuffed with shards of bone, fingernails, and grave dirt. And I kind of just like hold it out and I say, "This is what I use to commune. It is of my own creation."
As he extends it out to you, hold on. As he extends it out to you, it has this like sort of twisted expression of deep and like disconcerting pain. Like the thing presently lives in some level of perpetual misery.
I'm trying to like see how they react. I have like an eyebrow raise, and I'm looking to see if any of them are like, ugh, or like they recoil from it.
Play with a child's toy?
Yeah.
This is not a child's toy. I kind of pull it back.
Personally kill all of the bits and parts associated with it?
I said I created it myself.
Okay, I'm just curious if you actually killed the things yourself or just picked it off dead corpses you found. I don't know.
Can I get a perception check from everybody as he's putting it away? Silvio, as he's putting it away, you swear you see it like it's like hand try to like grab the edge of his pouch as he's like putting it in the pouch.
No. Kind of creepy.
I will remind you, it is not a child's toy, so this is my special creation. It is similar to your raven there, but it is much more. It's much more than that because I crafted it myself. So it's not a toy to be played with, so do not touch it.
I'm gonna go up to Skeletal Felix and start looking him over. This is an interesting change.
It looks at you and like splurts a little bit of acid, not enough to be painful, but enough for you to feel like the acid come out.
Be careful.
Yes, Felix, I know you really like your acid. Calm down.
Yes. Were you two close in life?
We were, I guess, a little close, you could say. We had similar strengths and tried to best each other and inadvertently kind of became very close friends. In the process, charm magic does weird things to your head. So we're moderately close.
Well, if you need to borrow him for a night or two, I don't mind, but I would ask that he remains intact. I did spend some valuable onyx on this one to raise him. He's quite formidable.
Intriguing thought there. Think on that. Oh, are you adverse to scars?
Excuse me?
Sorry, if you're going to be traveling with us, I have magic that I can more easily use on you if I put a small scar on you. You can look at the rest of them. They have the scars.
Ew.
Yeah, he didn't want my scar, which is probably partially why he's dead.
Well, I'm no stranger to body modifications, and I'll kind of motion to I have like these piercings on my eyebrow. If you detail me how this magic works, I'll be not opposed to it.
Yes, it should be something I think you should be somewhat familiar with. Whether or not it is something you are able to do, it seems similar to the magic you have, and I don't know. However, you would actually explain how a hex works. I don't.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if, like, just because I'm a witch I would know all the hexes, but, like, I guess if you detail it and it's like a hex, like
I assume it would be like the talking about how it like it's hex magic, and I think you would at least understand like hex.
Yeah,
magic.
you combined a piece of yourself to kind of create a conduit for your magic to travel through to his body without needing to be in extremely close proximity to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Would it be knowledge or Arcana to know? Like, I guess I'm just worried about could she have an easier time of. She mentioned charm magic. Charm me.
Give me a
if she
knowledge
does this
arcana.
to me? Yeah.
I believe technically it does allow that, right? It's any of your hexes can be used via the.
I think so. Let me read it. Oh, that's why did I write? I wrote things in the wrong. Why did I write the cackle stuff there? Yeah, but I think it is. I can use Scar, Pathfinder. The witch can use her hexes on the scarred target. Yeah, so any of my hexes. I mean, I did say charm magic, so you'd have to assume I have a charm hex, but theoretically, yes, if you're going under the assumption that I have a charm hex, I would be able to use that through the scar.
I think an important thing to keep in mind is you know that there's a lot of things that creatures like you that people like you can do, with your powers can do, and some of those things are positive, and some of those things are negative, and that this allows her the ability to, over what she says, great distances, still be able to have these things affect you.
We've merely just met. Perhaps let's build some rapport before I let you.
I'm gonna
do
show my
something
neck
to me.
and show him like the moon scar on my neck. It's fine. She actually saved my life with it.
Yes. I'm sure you've all spent much time together. Perhaps we should spend some time to get acquainted before we start doing things to each other's bodies.
Sorry, yes, I forget that people don't always, I don't know, I'm a little bit more forward than some people, and I forget that not everyone is as forward and trusting as I sometimes am.
Yes, I'm familiar with how this magic works, and I know how it can be used for or against someone. And we've just met, so perhaps we should build some rapport before I let you do this.
I mean, I wouldn't have any reason to use anything against you as long as you don't...
Not yet. Who knows, right?
Sure. Well, if we run into combat on the way out of here and you die in the process, it's not my fault because you wouldn't let me scar you.
Trust me, dear. I am much more resistant to death than this one over here. I assert my command over the dead. I don't intend to become one. Hush, Felix.
Was there a description of the drow?
No, go ahead and give us a description, if you will, please.
So before you, it's a very tall, well, relatively, 6'2", drow complexion, which is this like kind of grayish, bluish kind of color to the skin. I have white hair that's kind of like shaved on one side and kind of flopped over to the side, kind of almost like a little hipster haircut. I'm wearing black and purple robes. Along my robes would have like little fetishes like skulls, bones and things like that. AKA, I am wearing a cackling hag's blouse. Other than
Damn,
that,
you got enough money to get a cackling hag's blouse already? I'm jealous.
some of us use our money wisely.
Some people got to start in the Drow Society.
I haven't used like any of my money because I'm saving up for expensive things.
Well, that's your problem. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about as detailed as I can get, I guess.
Freaking hacks who
Is he
die and get
average
better
looking?
gear than me.
Or like, is he a charisma dump stat?
No, the only dump snap is strength, so perhaps I look a little gangly or lean, not very muscly, but very high dex and int. You can't really see int, I guess, but no other stat is below a 10. So I'm like average con, wisdom, and charisma and stuff.
All right, well, what are we doing? Are we sleeping here? Are we heading back up? I'm ready to do
Well,
something.
we're still studying the book.
Book? What book?
Oh, okay, this book.
Oh, like you were saying about not trusting new people. No.
I understand if you want to keep this secret, but perhaps I
I
can
mean,
help.
he's from down here. Maybe he
Yes.
knows. We're trying to figure out if there's a way to seal off this room on the inside. We know how the magical runes on the outside work to get in. We're curious if once we are in, we can seal it off so someone of decent magical intelligence would be the only ones able to get back in, but obviously we don't want to trap ourselves in here.
Well, I'm very a learned man. I know many languages if you're having trouble reading the book.
Well, it
Alright,
doesn't
well-
appear to be in a language.
Well,
Yeah,
Sort
and-
of symbols and runes.
And I'll have to hold it open since you're not a follower of Lars, and only followers of Lars can open it.
Interesting. Yes, I can take a stab at it if you need some help with this thing.
Yeah. Do you have any ranks in linguistics?
I mean, I have, oh, sorry, I think I froze.
Do you have any ranks in linguistics?
I do.
Okay. So I think you and Rusty can study the book together.
Does he have to make his will save though?
He does have to make his will save.
Yeah, he's an ally. We did it.
Yeah. You feel like bonding over this book with Rusty and Silvio holding it open. You feel a bit of a stronger kinship towards Silvio. But ultimately, with the two of you studying, knowing the part to look at, spending some time busting out some paper, writing down some notes, going over a few things, you can get enough of a gist of how this ritual would work. I think in between there, Rusty, you realize you have the notes from the other ritual that you guys figured out, and you can use those notes to find the same ritual in the book, and then start comparing some of the symbology across the two, and eventually you can decipher how to seal this door.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's seal it up.
Will we be able to open and close it without like the spell keywords? You know how it works now?
So it doesn't explain how it works. It just tells you how to make the ritual that will seal the door.
Oh.
But is there a ritual for also unsealing? Because we don't know of a way from this side to open it back up.
So the way to think of this is you guys right now have the assembly instructions for the device, but you don't have the user manual for the device. So you have like the schematics, but not the instruction manual.
Does that give like Rusty the ability to like disable device on it to check it out, or?
No, the door can't be disabled with disable device because it's not considered a trap. You are sealing the door with a ritual.
It would have been what, like knowledge engineering or whatever it is?
No, this isn't engineering. This is a ritual. This would be like knowledge religion, but that's just telling you that this is a ritual. You technically already know the way back in and what you have to do to get back in. It's the out that's the only thing that you haven't technically tested.
Would I be able to infer with some of the other ritual magic that I've kind of been a part of? I know how to do other rituals sort of backwards to like undo them. That's theoretically what I'm supposed to do with this whole mind wipe thing is perform the ritual backwards to undo it. Could I surmise, does this seem like something like theoretically if we just performed backwards correctly, it could maybe open it from the inside?
So opening it from the inside, you're again not sure of, because opening it from the inside is just, it's a complete uncertainty. But you know the way to solve it when you were coming in was to put the runes in the order that they were, which is basically doing the reverse of what you did to what you're doing to seal it. Because as you seal it, you're basically doing a ritual that instills kind of the essence of a sin into the wall itself.
So are these these runes and stuff, if we are in the inside and we seal the door, are we able to interact with these runes at all, or are they like now on the other side of the door?
They're on the other side of the door.
So theoretically, we can't even really, like, if we seal ourselves in, we can't really mess with those runes in any way to, like, open it back up.
Well, that part, the very last step of it is closing the door. The very last step of the ritual is closing the door. So you're not entirely sure what that means. Can you close it from only the outside? Can you close it from the inside?
Gotcha.
Like, the very last step just says, and then you close the door.
Gotcha. Interesting. I just have one question about these doors, because this is just something I'd be curious about. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Never mind. So yeah, so we don't even know if theoretically, if we're on the inside, if we can even close it.
Well, you know that somehow people were able to do things in here and not be discovered for centuries.
There must be a way.
Maybe the door, once it's closed, doesn't lock from the inside. It only locks people out. Maybe we can just open it if we're
Could be.
inside.
The only problem is if we test it, there is a small, or maybe not so small, % chance we get basically stuck in here without knowing how to get out.
We can have Felix try to open the door from the inside. He's a skeleton. It's not like he's gonna die in there.
Bro, I can do that. I don't think this magic would sever my control over him. But this is magic nonetheless. If we were stuck inside, would we not be able to just dispel it over time? Temporarily to get out? But yes, I wouldn't want to risk such things. Perhaps we can experiment with your friend
I mean,
Felix.
do you have the power to dispel magic?
I do not.
Not today. But tomorrow I could.
Jesus, do you have? Oh, because you already have your 3rd level spells, and we
Yeah.
don't.
He's the 5th level. We're not. That's why.
And you can dispel religious rituals with that?
I
Who
don't
knows?
know. If it's arcane or if it's some sort of persisting magical effect, I should be able to. Unless the gods will it otherwise, then perhaps it's our fate to reside here forever.
Alright, well, detect magic is that arcane.
It is not arcane.
Well, did somebody just detect magic?
It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
arcane.
with that
Okay.
comment, I can detect magic.
There's a bajillion people here. It's not arcane.
Oh, but like, does it come up as magical?
It is magical.
Okay, so like, what does detect magic tell us? It's just of strange magic we've never seen or something?
No, I mean it is abjurative magic to some degree, and then there are different schools attached, or there's different there's blended magic in each of the runes, but it's not, there's like so many different kinds of magic that it comes up as like sort of an array of schools as opposed to an individual school.
Magic here is complicated. I don't know if I could dispel it. I've never seen such a complex array of magic intertwined. Is there a reason you want to stay here? Why can we not progress back out to the surface today?
It was more of just theoretically if we have to come back down here, thinking that this could be a safe spot for us to rest if we could figure out how to work this door properly.
We'd like to protect it if we could. Keep something or someone else from coming in here.
Well,
Did you guys see anything about the circle in there? In the book?
You mean the ritual circle?
Oh,
Yeah.
like you think we might want to try and dispel that and see if our magic works? Is that what you're saying?
If they're the same type of magic, it did work with ritual. I don't know.
The magic, we can jump to that since you asked that question. The magic of the ritual circle is different in some ways, but similar in others. You could, if you wanted to, spend a day here, let Felix get dispel and see what happens.
Wrong name.
I'm sorry, Astrum.
I'll make Felix try to learn it. Learn it.
There we go.
Feed a spell to him like he's the familiar.
Well, if you have no strong feelings on the matter, perhaps we should do some research on the surface before we experiment. I don't think anything's going to bother this place while we're gone.
This circle has very strong magic, though. Was there anything in the book you guys were looking at that referenced the circle? Or is that just
Yeah, it basically just gives you the details of the ritual in the book.
Oh,
So that's how they were able to like reverse decrypt the door ritual, is by using the ritual information from the circle. But
gotcha.
again, it's a build guide. It's not the user's manual.
I don't think any of you told me why you were even down here in the first place. You were on a task for Lars? What exactly were you after? Did you accomplish it?
This book, yeah.
Oh, should your superiors not be longing for your task to be complete? Should we waste more time?
Oh
I mean, we didn't
man,
exactly
I wish
have a
my
time
character
frame.
wasn't so dumb. Like he's trying to trick us into going back to the surface. My character's too dumb to know that though.
I want to go back to the surface.
I'm quite tired of being down here. We could try the ritual and see if we can seal this door from the outside. Then at least we know it's closed off and only people of certain knowledge and power levels can get in. And we can think on more for next time we come down here if there's a way to seal it on the inside and keep ourselves safe there. But I'm quite ready to have a nice bed and proper food and take a damn shower.
Yeah.
So you want to seal it? I thought your friend said it may only unlock from the inside. We may not be able to get back in.
No, we unlocked it from the outside. These magical runes out here,
Oh.
we know how to do this properly to unlock it from this side. The question is if we seal it off while we're inside of the room, can we open it and get back out?
Well, also though, we did rely on Felix for some of the spells to open it. Maybe we don't have access to those anymore.
I'm sure I have reached a sufficient power level to make up for his lackluster magic.
Sounds good.
Plus, the new fella might have some spells that can help.
Yes, I am quite a learned man. Well then, if that's the case, then lock it up and let's get out of here and see what's going on in the surface.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys can perform the ritual if you'd like to lock it up. Is everybody in agreement? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will take the time to lock up the door, and you can make your way out.
So we probably want to stop by that cartographer and detail the lower level and get some money.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can come back to the cartographer. I remember all of you. I remember all of my customers, as I am one of the greatest cartographers here.
Yeah, you woke me up that night. I'm still kind of bitter about that.
Exploration never ends. You must find all the routes. That way people can know all the things.
You know what? Some people want their beauty sleep. Can you do exploration during the day?
I do my exploration during the day and the night, but I also have to sell things. It's a very hard life. Thankfully, I've got myself one of these puppies. That way I can be the best business person I can. I take care of everyone.
What is he pointing at?
A ring that he's wearing on his finger.
What's that ring do for you?
Don't have to eat, don't have to sleep. It's
But
wonderful.
What if you like sleeping?
Sleep
That's
is for the
very
dead.
nice.
I suppose he knows more about sleep and being for the dead. He points to Felix's corpse.
Indeed, friend. And I'll start doing sign language at him and see if he understands. This is Drow sign language.
He will reply to you. While still talking to the rest of them.
Yeah, essentially I'm just like keying off him like, can I trust these people? It seems like you've met them. Well, I'm thinking of joining them. So
He kind of gives you like the I don't know. Like they're just they're people that buy things.
There are people that buy things. They have
capitalists.
Yeah.
I'll eat
So you said you pay for information about the lower level. So we went down a level further than you did.
A full level. Like
Well,
you.
we explored some of it, not all of it.
Very well, very well. What have you found? You got a drawing?
So would it
Sketch it
be
out?
like survival to detail it?
Yeah, you can give me a survival check.
Oof.
Of course, I
What a
love
time for
botching
Bob.
survivals.
It's like legitimately the most basic explanation of what you guys did, with very little things left around. You at least remember what creatures you ran into, yes?
Yeah.
You can recant some of those, and well, it's to him, what you've given him is not worth a lot, it is worth something, and he will pass you on 30 gold for the information. The creature information is well worth the 30 gold by itself.
Oh, that reminds me. I passed this giant sleeping insectoid thing on my way to you. Do you guys know about that? How'd you get past it? I snuck past it. Is it always sleep or?
No, it just needed to take care of some more carnal desires it had. I had.
Yeah,
sex
Luna
with
tired it out.
Why? I guess you aren't as squeamish as I thought.
No, not quite.
Interesting.
I like how she was like carnal desires. She had sex with it.
That's one way to defeat an opponent, I guess.
It is, and it worked quite nicely. We didn't have to fight it. I didn't have to waste magic trying to heal people. It looked like it could be kind of painful. And you know, I'm good with my magic and good with reading people, so it was a very easy... whatever you want to call it.
Shame you couldn't save your friend with your persuasive methods.
Well, you know what? It's kind of hard to fucking ooze.
Right.
I'd like to see you try.
You only get to do that one time.
Not seem like an efficient way to deal with those creatures.
Yeah, you know, that's probably why he keeps spewing acid.
Ah, yes. Felix, the book. I'm gonna add that to my notes, like, oh, you died to an acid creature, that might have some impact.
Maybe it had something to do with ruining its pH balance.
Maybe.
It's pretty base of you.
Right.
A well-appreciated pun. All right. So who remembers how to get out of here?
I put runes on our entire way down. We just gotta detect magic and follow them back.
And we're grabbing our copper. And
Yep.
I'll do a survival and perception if you're rolling that we're headed
Nope.
down.
What I am curious about is how do you get out of the drow little trading?
Oh, we walked
thing?
through the wall over by
Okay.
the stalls. I remember. Nice try.
All right. You will walk up to the wall and you will open it up and head through and you will end up back in that bedroom. And when you end up back in that bedroom, someone is asleep. And we'll find out who's asleep when we come back.
Mark the messages.
Can I
Yep.
fuck it?
What the?
Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance.
So, you enter into the room. There is someone that was sleeping in the bed. An alarm sounds fill the room as you make your way through the mirror. And they sit up immediately. Who goes there? Who are you?
Who are you?
I want a perception and see what this person looks like.
Yeah. You can look them over. They look human in form as they sit up.
Muscular?
Hard to tell because they have their blanket still mostly covering them. What is this about? How did you get in here?
Magic.
What age? Old, young?
Again, hard to tell, weirdly. You get the impression magic is at play with what you're looking at.
Hold there, friend. We're just passing through. We didn't know anyone lived here.
You shouldn't be passing through. How did you figure things out?
We're clever.
We're smart.
Well, some of us are.
Yeah.
I should kill you all where you stand now.
That's not a very fun way to solve our problems now, is it?
You're home invaders.
I mean, we're not trying to be. We didn't know this was your home. When we're wanting to leave, it's just a misunderstanding.
A complicated bedroom that you somehow managed to get through. And you think no one lives here? Did you not see my food in the kitchen?
People die down here all the time. We assumed this was abandoned.
Oh, so you just assume that I died a few days beforehand. There were fresh snacks there.
We didn't eat any. We don't know.
Right.
Listen, this is just a simple misunderstanding.
Who are all of you? Where are you from? What level do you hail from?
I mean, no level.
Surfacers.
Maybe.
Down here.
Not
Yes.
all of us.
Well, yes.
Oh, yes, I suppose you wouldn't be. Oh, and what the hell is that?
Our dead friend.
Just for the record, I did not come this way, so apologies.
It's too middle for this.
Middle? What is
All
that?
of you would say early, but no one does anything early down here.
I don't like doing things early either. It's quite unpleasant.
Neither did that guy.
Well, you're gonna need help getting out. Hold on. He'll, like, cast aside his blankets, and he'll get up completely in the nude, walk over to the armoire, and as he opens it, there's, like, a lot of different clothing that appears on the inside, and he'll, like, put on this, like, very brightly colored robe and wrap it around himself.
So I want to gauge and see if he's actually planning to kill us.
Yeah.
Luna wants to know if he's attractive.
Yeah. As he gets up, he's not like a very like chiseled kind of guy as he gets up, but he's fairly like well put together. He is, I don't know, he's not packing an elephant, but it's not anything to laugh at either. But he seems to sort of move with a deep pride in himself. And Silvio, he doesn't seem like he is really cared about killing any of you. He just doesn't seem like he is worried about you. He seems more like he's annoyed that, like, you've all entered his property, and he'd like to kill you, but doesn't really have any reason to, and that seems like enough to make him not just kill you. And as he puts on this robe, he'll close things. Well, it won't work while I'm sleeping, at least not that way. I need to do something about the mirror, apparently. Didn't ever think anyone would come through that way. And he'll go through the motions to make sure the bedroom door unlocks. He's like, and he'll go, all right, well, on with you.
For the record, I think we all eventually plan on returning. I guess, is there an alternate way to get to the same place without disturbing you?
There is, but you'd have to go in through a different part of the tunnels. I'm the only way down through this part.
Maybe use your way through again as long as you're not sleeping. You knock.
I mean, what's in it for me? You gonna pay me?
I don't know. I look to Silvio. What is it in for him?
Are you alone down here?
Sometimes.
Do you get lonely?
Well, Durgar women aren't the best, but they'll do from time to time. And every once in a while I'm fortunate enough to score a drow woman. But usually their attitudes aren't worth the work. A lot of pillow princesses, if I may say so myself.
Very true. Can't deny that.
I mean, if you were to let us come through here as we need, I could...
Let you come through here.
Let you come through here.
I think actually Higram finishes off the statement. But like says it in that exact way that you did there, Clarence, with the like sort of I suppose I can make that arrangement if nothing here remains ruined in the process. And I suppose if you're going to be spending some time here, the rest of your companions can borrow some of the other rooms for the time. How does that sound? Fair?
Sounds fair to me.
Love it. Deal.
Did we see other rooms as we came through?
There were 2 other rooms, yeah.
Okay.
As well as a bathroom.
I was wondering if this was some weird magic stuff or if it was if there was just mundane rooms.
No.
So I look at him, these robes. Do I see spell components? Like, is he clearly a caster? Or...
Give me a perception check around the room.
That's not the right one.
Nope.
Felix, stop looking around.
Yeah, so you'll notice, like, one of his drawers is not fully closed all the way, and as he's kind of going through the motions, like, you change your stance periodically, and you'll peer in and see a little bag of spell components inside of the drawer.
Think it is much?
Well, it's still my resting time. If you'd like, you're welcome to stay here as well for what time there is left. Otherwise, do be on your way.
Yes, I think we should be on our way. Disturb this man long enough.
All right. You can head on through.
As we leave and are ample distance away, I'd like to activate my detect magic, see if there's any magic following us, any trace of him listening in or something like that.
There is not.
Excellent. As we're walking, I say to the party, your friend Felix here just made me very curious about what happens to certain casters when they die. This man's in our way. Should we just kill him? I could raise him and create another powerful spellcasting undead. I wonder what effect would have on this man. What persisting effects he has on him. Very curious.
He was strong enough to make all of these defenses in his house. Could we even kill him?
Yes, that's why I was thinking, since we have such a free-spirited friend here, and I can motion to Luna, perhaps as you sleep with him, you can learn of his strengths and weaknesses, his abilities.
I
You
can
know.
try.
Yes. If you learn something that we could use to our advantage. Just a thought.
Kill the last one at least.
Seems like a fair idea to me.
Yes, and I think we would do very well to expand my research here. Could only strengthen us.
Mages usually have good loot.
Let's just not kill everyone I sleep with. It kind of gets weird after.
No,
a
no,
while.
no. Just powerful spellcasters.
Just powerful spellcaster. Should I be worried? Are you gonna try to kill me?
No, of course not.
Gage. Seems legit.
Can I get someone to roll me a d5?
Got
Everyone,
it.
I'm gonna steal some snacks. I'm joking.
I'll get. Oh, we got it.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Good luck for you guys. It certainly is. And can I get a roll of a d10?
Someone else do.
Nope.
I'll do it.
Nope. I rolled max roll last time. I'm not doing it again.
Now we get to see this.
What? I hit too many L's.
Roll.
Roll.
All right.
One level 6.
And yeah, you guys are
Or
moving.
6 of 1.
You guys are moving along through the tunnels. When you approach this good old intersection here, let me replace out
Oh, a
this
classic.
Felix with a better Felix.
The true Felix. The strong Felix.
Oops, I'm on the wrong map. And paste that into there. There you go. But yeah, can I get some perception checks as you're traveling?
And did I need to? I didn't need to roll survival because we got this whole place like super easily mapped out.
Yeah, you are noticing though that there are some changes that are happening.
2 nat 20s.
But yeah, you will all spot. Ooh, actually, Silvio, you will manage to spot a very odd impression in the ground.
Hold up, trap.
Hold up.
Wait.
Should I send your friend?
No. I can handle it.
All right, where is it so we can back away from it?
Yeah.
Let's just...
So it is basically right in front of this door that is here. All right, Rusty. Let's see if it triggers on you.
It probably will.
I'll guidance you, so +1.
You guys all want to sit back there in case it's a lightning bolt or a fireball?
That would be hilarious.
All right, so you managed to stop up the pit trap that is here. You once more like get a few things in there, lock the mechanism into place, and you can all pass by it with relative ease.
Easy
As you
guys.
carry on.
All right. So I do have to roll survivals because things are changing, or
So here it's a lot less necessary because you're going up. If things have changed since last time, going down is a lot more difficult. Going up is a matter of finding the elevation. I will need basically just one survival per floor to make sure you don't lose track of which way is correctly up.
okay. Is that something I'm rolling right now?
Yeah,
or?
you can give me that right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna toss up a rock, and when it falls down, I'm gonna point the other way. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Works underwater.
That is no problem. You guys can continue on your way, and I will need another roll of a d5.
I can do it.
I have whatever the other one's going to be.
Oh.
And then I need a roll of a d8.
D8.
Nice.
All right, so you guys get to the other end of this hallway. So you move basically past this door onto the other side. And on the other side of this, there are these statues that have been set up down the hallway. And immediately they seem a little unnerving. Give me a perception check.
Everyone can make this?
Yes.
Excellent. Oh.
Yes, Silvio and Rusty, you will both notice there is some kind of like mechanism that is connected to the back of them. These are not just regular statues. Yep.
Okay.
I'm trying to go over to one.
You're gonna walk over and touch one, Higram?
No.
No, I was guidance and Rusty.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm saying way back.
Yeah, so once he gives me guidance, I'm going to try and go over or a safe, wherever I know to be safe to try to disarm it.
Yep. Yeah, that is successful. These are pretty easy to disable. You can just, once you notice the mechanism, you can just kind of reach in behind them, and as long as you don't fuck up with your hand, you can easily, like, break the mechanism. And you can pass through. This is set up to, as you walk by them, to spring them out and try to smash you into the wall. But these look like... These look like these were set up, like, recently. The mechanism is very shoddily and rushed in its making. It looks like something was trying to keep things from going this way.
Something clever.
But you can all continue on. And can I get another check there for survival?
Oh.
And perception. Yep. You might as well just do the perceptions at the same time. Excellent. Everyone's favorite intersection here.
Oh man, intersection number 4.
That was our rust monster, buddy.
Yep, now he's not there no more. Because that's not really what this is. Huh? Yes, please. Grab out. Very annoying having to reload these assets in every zone. I'm not an AI. I don't do this as fast. Yeah, so you guys will come up through here. Actually, come up over here. And perceptions here were fairly lackluster, but this thing is very, very
I
loud.
had a 35. That's not lackluster.
What? Where? Oh, I didn't scroll down far enough.
Yeah, that lackluster almost 40.
Lackluster 35, you know. No big deal. Smooth,
Okay.
casual. So I guess from some distance away, you will notice. Let me grab this, one of my favorites. You will notice something making a lot of noise in the distance.
Can I see it?
Oh, well, we fought one of these, so we know what it is, right?
Can you see it on the map?
No.
No, but we know from the sound, right?
Did you fight one of these?
Yeah, the maybe it wasn't these characters. I fought them in the past, definitely. And I asked about them at some point this game. I don't remember why though.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Are they speaking any language, or is it just gibberish?
Just gibbering.
Oh.
Am I aware of this sound? Does it provoke any knowledge check? Or I see a bit of it.
Dungeoneering is what would be necessary here.
I don't know. Have you all heard of this thing before? Or should we be fearing, or should we just walk in and deal with this thing?
I don't remember.
Excellent. Sounds like we're dealing with it. Felix,
Can we tell how big the room is?
It's a rather large room. You can see, I think some of you can see from a distance that it's a pretty large room.
I'm just thinking how many of them are there in here? Of whatever.
Oh, we'll find out. Felix will be a deer, would you?
I'll follow him.
Right about there.
Ooh.
I am going to... Hold on one sec.
See it.
Oh, no. Close. Not yet. Carry on.
Now I'm not doing
Felix.
anything. I know what you're waiting for. No.
Felix will go until you stop him, I guess, whenever
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
triggers.
I'm gonna be following him.
Yep. Right
Yeah, I'm gonna be
there
following
is
Ingram.
where you will like hear some slurping along the floor, and
So yeah, I mean I see it. Like
and it will like there is like a spray of acid that kind of rises into the air, and with that we can roll into initiative.
My sweet Felix is made of acid. Does this thing act on my initiative, or do I need to roll a separate?
It will
initiative?
act on your initiative.
Oh, I actually don't have an initiative macro on my.
You should if you click on it.
Nope.
All right, hang on. I will fix that for you. You now should have a exclamation point NIT if you click off and then back on again.
Unrecognized command.
You never clicked on your token?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Try again.
Trying again. Yeah. Natural 1.
Sweet. Still better than the ooze. Or than the mouther. Gibber,
Yeah,
gibber,
we've definitely
jibber.
fought these before. Well, Felix, but I wasn't. My character hasn't.
Gibber, gibber, gibber. Jabber, jabber, jabber.
Jabberjaw.
19 leads us off.
So what do I remember about these things?
Can't remember if you fought them or not, so I'll give you credit for
And
having
I can roll.
done.
You want me to roll Dungeoneering? I'll roll
It's
it.
fine. They have DR5 versus anything that's not bludgeoning. They are amorphous, so you can't critical on them. They don't worry about moving through squares. They can't be flanked. And they try to sort of cover over you and eat you with all of their mouths, and drain the blood from you.
I'm not sure we fought.
Also, when you're within 60
I
feet,
thought we did.
You can be confused. I'm pretty sure you guys did not. I'm like 90% sure you did not.
I don't think we
But-
fought this.
Maybe not.
We've fought this in clinical third
Yes.
Oh,
we haven't
maybe
fought
that's
it
not
in this game.
But I do know that right now, if I'm not mistaken, Rusty, go ahead and roll me your knowledge engineering. But I think your base engineering gets this almost every time. Yeah. So
Does
all
he
that
know
info's
mind
good.
affecting, immune or not immune?
They they are technically affected both by mind affecting. They do have minds of their own.
All right.
Do
so
they
there's-
see, or do they just
They see all over.
blind sense?
They can see in all directions with dark vision.
Oh, so they see with their eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They see destruction and demise from this fucking enterprise.
Yeah. I'm just gonna hold my action to attack it if it somehow gets
All right.
within range.
Luna.
I think I'm going to. Where does it go? There. Do I even get that far? No. Okay, I'm gonna hold my turn to the end of the round.
Silvio.
I flurry it.
All right. That'll hit. All right.
Attack number 2.
Yep. That'll miss.
Alright.
One of its little splurchy, like, tentacles will kind of bat it away. Higram.
I'm gonna cast Burst of Radiance on it.
Burst of Radiance! Feel the holiness!
It's a reflex
And,
save or it's blinded, and if it's evil, it takes 5d4, whether it saves or not.
So when it batted away the arrow, did it look like it was just the DR5, or was it
No,
the,
batting away the arrow was
feet?
its AC, like, getting and avoiding it. It didn't
Okay.
snatch the arrow, nor did it
Okay.
deflect it. Does a 19 beat?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Um,
It still takes half damage, though, right?
He takes full damage, and
Okay.
he is dazzled instead of blinded. So this is the damage, the 5d4.
Yep, 5d4. Oh, that's a good roll. Ouch, my monster.
And then he's dazzled for
Dazzle, dazzle.
2 rounds.
Give him
I
a
don't-
razzle
I like
dazzle.
mine.
Astrum.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. All right, I keep forgetting you got an animal.
Woof.
They
All
do
right, so
think
we're
these
gonna-
things are delicious.
Magic.
We're gonna move this way. So he's gonna move there, and I'm gonna use my movement action to use that skill, martial flexibility, to make it where I can use my weapon as blunt.
Okay. This thing is going to try to move its way deeper.
My turn first, though?
Oh, did I skip you by accident? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Is this a touch spell? I think it is. Yeah. I'll go up to Silvio and I will say, time to be heroic.
Yeah, and then this thing will try to move deeper into here. Luna.
Damn, this little asshole. Ugh. Alright, well, I guess I'm just.
I'm just moving Felix in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this round I'm just taking a double move because I can't reach anything for anything, so.
All right, Rusty.
Let's see. Well, how close can I get to the stupid thing?
You can charge it.
I don't want to do that.
Just gonna roll all over you.
So I'm going to amble over slowly to it.
Okay.
Because I don't have a weapon that's good against fighting it.
Silvio.
I'll 5-foot step and flurry.
All right.
And I got, since I have heroism, add 2 to each of these. Cause
Yep.
That buff's obviously not in there yet.
No problem. That'll miss. And that'll miss. Pigram.
I'm gonna do it again. It has long range.
No!
Ooh, the opposite
Fails.
damage. Well, not
And
the opposite.
takes at least less damage this time around, but
Oh, but now it's blind. It can't see where we are.
yep.
That's what it gets. Oh, I mean,
Astrum.
You
Oh, yeah,
roll
you
a
can move.
D4
Sorry.
for rounds.
blind for
Nice.
3 rounds.
I don't think we have a macro for because it's just acid splash. Is this like how the spell works?
If you click on it, there should be an attack macro.
I click on his icon. I have initiative and rest.
God damn it. I'm so bad at being a human being. 1 sec. I'll give you a macro. I'll give you a fucking macro, you macro-loving piece of macro.
Dang.
Yeah, macro.
Did Rusty say these things were immune to acid?
They are not immune to acid. Macid.
Nice.
Macid.
I'm gonna give him some of my Mancid.
Marilyn Mancid.
Hell yeah.
Hey, keeps not changing my freaking spell. 3. Level 2s cost 3, right?
Level 2s cost 3. That is correct.
Yeah.
Alright, click off and back on, and he now has an attack.
Roll the acid.
He does throw the acid, and it does not hit.
He's just as good as the
That's it. I took a full move. For,
Yep.
this one.
Alright. This thing will spit some acid out.
He's blind.
It knows a relative area to spit it at, so it gets a penalty. But it knows that somewhere in this direction there's a Rusty.
He deserves it.
So it said -4. Ooh. 19 plus 7 is 26, -4 is 22.
Yeah, that hits.
You get 50% mischance, so roll me a D2, and if you roll a 1, it hits. Yeah, it hits! Luckiest of luckies. This thing does very little damage, though, on a touch. Or no, it doesn't do damage, I'm sorry. Roll me a Fortitude save.
Yeah, sure.
Ha! You're blind too now!
Well, good thing I can't do damage to this thing anyway.
For 1 round.
Don't accidentally stumble into its mouths.
Luna.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to Evil Eye it for AC.
Your evil eye becomes blind, but it will still roll to save.
My Evil Eye becomes blind.
Yeah, because it's
Beaming.
blind. Come on, keep up with the jokes.
I can't click my thing that saves. Like, I can't click on my Evil Eye token anyhow. Never mind.
Yeah, you're
Never
just
mind.
bad at it.
Yeah, I was being bad. But that'll save, but he's Yeah, doesn't matter. Just one round still.
Even
So
though he
he's
didn't
minus
see it
18.
coming, he still saved Rusty.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yes. Rusty.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yep, you're definitely not looking.
So it's blind currently?
And so are you, yes.
Or you?
All right.
You have to look at it a different way.
Okay, here's the thing.
You need to see
I
things from a
hate
different
you all.
perspective.
Stop!
My optometrist would love this game.
This is horrible.
All right. Can I try to stealth? Like it can't see me.
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, but can I just try to move silently so it doesn't know
I think
where
part of
I
being
am?
blind is you automatically fail any dex checks, so you'd fail being stealthy. I think.
Yeah, there's not really a place to stealth or move silently per se, like, because you don't know what you're moving around, you don't know where you're moving to.
Okay.
So you can just move and hope that, like, it doesn't track you well.
Oh no, yeah, you fail anything that's based on perception. Sorry.
I mean, I would
Also,
still
it's not
say, like,
immune to your damage, it just has DR5, right? So you can still hurt it. You just can't hurt it as much
Well,
as.
I'm not gonna attack it when I'm blind.
Well, no, I meant just like in general.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, you also have to make a DC 10 acrobatics check to move faster than half speed.
Oh, okay.
In case
I guess
you're
I'll do
new.
that. All right, great.
and then you can just move wherever you want to move. Right into it?
Not right into it.
Alright.
Cartwheel right into its mouth.
Yum.
So, can I get you to roll me a d8 when you do that?
I can only
Sorry,
imagine what
d9.
this-
D9.
D9.
Denied.
Alright, so you're actually here.
That's
Blind,
less
you
good.
That's actually what he wanted.
Silvio.
Yeah, I'll 5 foot and flirt.
Alright.
Does this thing look very hurt?
It does not look good, no.
Does a 10 hit?
It does not. Try again, even with the blindedness.
And -2 to AC.
Even with those, yes. It does not have a negative AC.
It almost should
A
be blind is
26
brutal.
hit.
That hits.
For DR.
There's
Minimal
another
damage.
Yep. Higram.
We're gonna move in. I'm gonna punch it.
Alright.
Come on and slam.
But Pavan is not gonna. Actually, I'm gonna get off Pavan and leave him back, and I'm gonna go. So he doesn't
Okay.
get eaten. I'm gonna punch him.
Can I get a handle animal check, actually?
Okay.
There's a reason for this. It's canonical in the clinical theurgy lore that we learn this. So, just a quick... Ooh, good job. So, you, like as you're jumping down, you notice that you really have to, like, hold Pavan back, because Pavan seems, like, super, like, mouth-watery hungry about this thing.
He wants to give him the munches.
But yeah, you can head on up there, and you can make your attack that will hit.
It looks like a jello.
I'll do Woopa damages.
It does.
Man, I wish I could switch these two. Take that crit.
I know.
It's blunt damage.
Yep.
It's all blunt.
You have that weird ability. I slap you with
Partial
my...
flexibility. It's not weird.
I'm
It is.
slapping it with my blade.
Hitting it with the side of it.
Hastrom.
Oh!
Oh, that
Oh
hits.
man!
Kill it.
And that will take down the
Ooh,
Malther.
He's about to eat my ass.
Good job, Felix.
He did it.
Strongest
Finally.
creation.
Killed something with acid splash.
You can hear the whimpering of Pavan in the background
Hey.
as everything kind of settles.
I'm gonna point at him like, if you really want to eat him.
And Pavan will rush over, and Pavan will start lapping this thing up, like chomping on the eyeballs, eating the like fleshy bits.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. But it is. Pavan thinks it is the most delicious thing he has ever had, with the way he's tearing into it.
I craft create water, so he has something to drink too.
Yeah. Pavan will lap that up as well.
There you go, little buddy. You should have said something earlier. All right.
Yeah, but after a little bit of feeding time, you all can continue on your way.
I'm assuming this thing full of mouths didn't have any,
No, they don't have any loot.
Is there any diamonds and jewels in his stomach?
No.
From the people he ate?
Not
Come on,
for this
Wait till
one.
Pavan poops it out.
Doesn't like Pavan chips a tooth on a freaking diamond ring. Like, what?
Give me another survival.
Yep.
Yeah. That will be enough that at this point the party can sort of make the rest of their way out. As you get onto the last 2 levels, it's kind of a pretty basic route to get back up. They don't change too much in navigating the way back to the surface. And you can once more see, I guess at this point, the moonlight kind of rising up above you as you arrive back on the streets of Meraxis.
Before we hit this...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that was it. I just smiled at the moon.
Before we go to the streets, do I know, is it if an undead is walking through the streets, are people going to freak out? Or
people might be made uncomfortable, but necromancy is not illegal. Thanks to the surface dwellers and their understanding of Delanrian, the laws were changed many, many, many years ago to allow for the safe passage of creatures of all types of undeath.
excellent. If I don't see there's a problem with it, I'll have Felix accompany.
Excellent. And with that, we will take another short break. Other side.
Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance. Do you want to be a champion? I mean that sincerely. Do you actually want to be a champion? I've seen what you can do. You're good. Maybe even good enough. But you're lazy. Most of the time you just sit there judging others for their mistakes. When you know you could do better. Well, now's your chance.
Party can climb their way out of the tunnels below. Listen to the odd sounds of like bones scratching against the metal as this skeleton climbs out of this deep tunnel. Yeah, the streets are quiet.
This is awkward. I realize I don't actually have a place to stay. Where do you guys usually stay? Do you have like an inn or something?
We each have our own houses or places we stay at.
Any of you mind putting me up for the night?
It's fine. Just come with me.
I raise an eyebrow and grin.
I'm being hospitable. He said he needs to get to know me better and to get a rapport so I can scar him. Figured this will help.
Yeah, I mean, an acid skeleton would be a pretty neat experience.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But how do you know if a skeleton consents? Because I'm not into non-consensual things.
Easy. It does what I tell it to do.
But does that mean it's consenting, or is it?
Of course.
I'm gonna have to think on that.
No thinking required. It does as it's told.
You all can head off to your respective places that you'll be staying. Does anybody have anything they want to do, though, before they bed down for the night?
Oh, well, I'm gonna let everybody know we're heading to the Lars Temple at crack of dawn.
God, right away I have to figure out all of this shit I'm doing tomorrow.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'll tell you on the way back to my place.
Yeah, why don't you share those details as you guys travel back?
Yeah, basically I'll just tell you all about how we're supposed to be getting our minds wiped and this ritual, and I have to do it backwards, and I have to pit two of these guys against each other, kind of, to do it backwards so that I can get them to go away for a minute. And
Does this apply to me? I mean, I wasn't.
I mean,
Oh,
they don't.
it applies to skeleton.
I'm gonna wipe that stone's memory.
I mean, you weren't. They don't know you're a part of our group, so
Excellent. Why don't we keep that between us then until after this whole thing's done? I didn't agree to this, so I don't think this applies to me.
I don't know. I'm not a one for the Lars rules or laws. I don't really follow that part, so I don't really know. We can just tell them that Felix died, and that's the truth. He did.
Excellent. I guess I'll wait here for you in the morning after you're done with that, and you can come get me when you guys are ready for your next soiree.
I guess just don't mess up my place. I really like my bed. Don't fuck with my bed. Sleeping
Yes.
is one of my few joys, okay?
Excellent. I don't have to worry about you trying to scar me in my sleep tonight, do I?
Sorry, I don't know if you froze or I froze. I think I froze
Oh,
there.
I don't know.
Now it's telling me my internet connection is unstable.
Oh, I just said I don't have to worry about you scarring me in the night, do I?
No.
Oh.
Again, I said I'm not into non-consensual things. If you say no, I'm not going to do it until you agree to have it done. That's why Felix doesn't have a scar on him. He told me no.
I mean, I
respected
can't
that.
tell. His flesh is mostly gone.
That is true. But I assure you, he
Yeah.
probably would not be dead right now if he had let me scar him.
You don't seem very torn up about his passing. Is you guys really that close, I guess?
Felix was hard to get to know. He was like sociable, but not super sociable with us. I don't even think I would feel as close to him as I do if it wasn't for the fact that we kind of used our magic against each other in a try to see who's stronger type thing, and inadvertently ended up charming each other. So, but otherwise, he was very mysterious. I think he kept a lot of secrets. Wasn't an easy person to get to know.
Well, he's dead now, so.
He is dead now.
He's not coming back.
Do you have a suitable place for me to sleep?
I have a couch. Will that suffice?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Everybody can rest. And in the morning, there will be much to do.
So we can finally level up?
Nope. You'll have to wait until after your memories are stripped from you before you can level up. Gotta rest for a full, uninterrupted day.
Is all the experience is going to be wiped from us, so no reason to level up now.
Wouldn't that be the greatest GM trap I've ever done?
I would be done.
It's like you didn't learn anything from this because you can't even remember the experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys head back to the temple in the morning. Dragutin is there practicing, but he will stop his sparring and make his way back to you. I thought you were all but dead at this point. He looks over.
One of us is.
Yes. Well, it's the one I expected to go.
Yeah.
Have you begun your search for a suitable replacement, then?
We've started.
Yeah, we have a prospect.
Good. When you're ready, please bring him here. I'll have to meet with him.
Yep.
Shall we get on with it, then?
Sure.
Please, I'll need the book.
Yep. So I have the book, the ritual bag.
Yep. He will take the items from you, and he
And
will.
oh yeah, and I also wanted to tell him about there was a bunch of Lars books down there. I grabbed the first and last Lars cult books in case those books are of interest. I wasn't sure.
Excellent. He will take both of them, and he will carry them with as well. And he will
Right,
guide. Yep.
Should I remove the ritual bag from my sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
He will guide all of you to a separate room. He will ask you all to join hands. And he will take a few items out. He'll take like that first book that you gave him and he'll set it down in the center of things. He will flip through a few pages of the book, and you will notice as he begins to do some things that Thoth does not seem to be directly involved in this ritual as he begins performing a ritual out of the book.
Is that like a gauge? Like, why would that be? Or
yeah, you can give me a gauge here.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's something super suspect about this. You guys had to work really hard to decipher this book. Dragaton literally just opened up the book and started performing a ritual out of it.
So do I think that he actually is like from the other religion and not from ours?
I think that's an assumption that you could probably put together if you wanted to. That seems like a plausible assumption. But as he continues the ritual, it won't matter what assumption you make. Because you won't remember any of it. And as he finishes up the ritual, he'll walk over to like this little altar that's there, and he will start to burn that oldest book that you gave him.
Oh, you.
And he will say, "You've all done very good work here. I am very pleased with what you've done in your recovery."
What's the last thing we remember? I'm sorry for cutting you off.
So what you basically remember is you remember that you went down to this area to recover something for him, and that you brought it back to him successfully, but the object is kind of a blur, and the place you went to is kind of a blur. Like, you don't remember entering the area, you don't remember, like, what the objects were. You just remember, like, going someplace down there, getting this thing, and then going from there to the deeper area, losing Felix, and then, like, running into, am I forgetting his name again? Yeah. On your way out.
So do we not even, like, because I wrote myself the note, basically, right, that person told me to do. It was like, write yourself a note to remember to, like, undo or do backwards what you just did. Do I even remember what he just did in order to do it backwards?
Yes, so you know he did some kind of ritual because you remember that you made an agreement to forget this stuff.
Do I remember what I watched him do?
So remembering something that takes like an hour in great detail is really hard to do. But you guys do know, you guys did read the book, and you guys would be able to like reassemble from the information you know, and some of the details that you didn't share with him, what you would need to sort of reverse engineer this if you wanted to get the memories back. But it is going to take some time, and it would take getting the book away for some time. Like, he didn't burn the ritual book. He burnt the last book with the names in it. So when Silvio came back, he brought the very first book of names and the very last book of names. He kept the first book of, he kept the first book of names, but he burned the last book of names.
Well, because wasn't the whole point of everything was then he was going to hand off, like, this book and items to, it was going to be, like, in a room guarded by Jonathan and Yakov, and that's when we try to reverse engineer this, hopefully?
That was what your plan was, yep. And that is what his plan is he's got to seal this thing off, because it is ancient relic of Lars that needs to be under proper supervision.
Okay.
And yeah. Once the ritual is complete and he's done what he's done, he says, like, the burning of that book was like a last offering to sort of make sure the deal is sealed between the gods. He will reach down in and he will pull out a very, like 5 very large sacks of coins. 4 very large sacks of coins, and he will hand them to each of you. There are 300 platinum in each of these. And he will ask if you all want to... during the ritual, there is something extra that happens. During the ritual, you do get a request made in your heads, asking if you want to remember Felix, or if you'd like the memory of Felix to be gone. But if you choose to forget, you will get greatly rewarded.
I'll forget him. Screw that guy.
I mean, this is obviously thoughts, so no, I'm gonna remember it. If this was Lars offering it, then I'd take it.
Pigram's greedy, and I'm gonna get my memory back anyway, so this is just free money.
I need everyone's answer for this.
Yeah.
Was there a plan to get back our memory? I forget what we actually...
The plan is to get back your memory, but you don't know whether or not this memory will come back.
And we're
this
making
is a separate deal.
During the ritual.
Yes, you are making this decision in your head during the ritual. So you would choose to remember Luna? And what about Rusty?
Rusty's greedy. You're taking it.
Yeah, I probably have to. I have to take it.
Unfortunately here, that is not greater than 50% of the party. But I was curious as to Rusty's answer.
Hey, Pavan will forget. No, I'm joking.
Then my familiar Raven will remember.
Yeah, that's...
was actually smarter, so that would probably way more even higher.
While I'm lounging around Luna's place, I see a small tear come in the skull of Felix. What's the matter?
But yeah, you will all retain the memory of Felix, but you will all get the bags of 300 platinum.
You're lucky I don't know you guys cost me money.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm robbing you fuckers.
Do they remember that they were asked that choice and that they did? Some of them said yes and nothing happened?
They will remember that choice, yes.
So yeah, I guess I don't know if you guys...
But they also know that they remember that choice, which means that they know that they remember Felix.
Right, I'm just saying, like, they remember them saying, like, I accept the deal, and they still remember everything. So, like, wait, why didn't it work?
Well, I'm just going to assume that this money would have been probably less if I...
yeah, true, maybe.
So unless somebody tells me that how much they got, I'm just going to assume I got my reward. Wow, this is a lot of money, I did it!
Well, you know it didn't work because you still remember Felix, right?
Oh, that's right. It's a little weird.
Maybe your mind is more powerful than a god.
No.
Nah.
I have that type of issue.
Well, if we're done here, I appreciate the work. It will be some time while I do some more research into what I'll need next, but I have an idea of what I'm after.
pleasure doing business with you.
Same.
Yeah, same.
You have helped this temple greatly.
All right, and did we get any of the monsters we were trying to?
We didn't.
I don't think. Nah.
None of them.
No,
We
we
killed,
tried.
but we botched the survival to cut it right as I cast.
Yeah, the one we fought two of that one thing. The first time we fought it, we killed it before we could try the thing on it.
The Rust Buster?
Yeah, and the other time we failed the check.
But yeah, you can all meet back up at some point, or go off your separate ways.
I
That
mean,
is
do
the
we
plan.
feel like we needed to follow to where this book is locked up right away and do this?
You can
though?
keep an eye. You can hang out and just keep an eye and see where it ends up taking it to.
Yeah, I think that's what I would want to do for now, is because I'm trying to make sure I can effectively do this. So,
Sure.
and I'm supposed to hang out anyways. Well, and get deal with these Lars boys I'm dealing with. So
You can stick around, and you'll very easily see where they're led off to. In fact, he'll gather up your little playthings as he takes them to the spot where they're going to be guarding this thing, and he'll instruct them that they are on shifts, that they are to alternate back and forth, making sure this thing is protected. He'll inform them it's a very powerful relic, that they should allow no person through here at any time except for him.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, what's some stuff you guys want to do in the meantime? You got some time to yourselves. You just want to sleep through this day
Yeah,
so
I
you
want
can
to
level?
sleep through the day.
I'm snooping. Do I find anything cool in Luna's place while she's left me
Ooh.
here for too long?
What kind of stuff do you have in your place, Luna?
I don't even know if I would have that much stuff at my place. Maybe random mistress stuff. I mean, I don't know.
No,
I don't
going
think
through
she
it.
has a lot of possessions, so I think it's a pretty simple place.
Okay. So yeah, it is very boring in here. Aside from a few bits of holy paraphernalia of this mistress person, whatever this is, there is not much here.
Probably a lot of black decor.
Yeah, if that's the case, there's nothing interesting really. I guess after an hour, seeming like she's not coming back, I'm gonna go explore the city.
All right. You can head off into the city. What about the rest of you? What do you want to do in your time off?
Well, I think we should meet up with everyone and figure out when we want to try to go attempt to reverse this ritual. So I guess we could have talked about that as we're leaving before we separate.
Yeah, go ahead. Have that chat.
So I watched where the book's being guarded, and I think I can get us in there. But it's just a matter of when you guys want to attempt this.
Is there a time limit? Well, obviously we have to do it before they move the book.
Yeah, I would assume for reversing something like this, probably sooner than later. I don't really know for sure.
Hey, anybody else have a thought? If you forgot Felix, you get a lot of rewards, and then nothing happened?
Yeah, that was Thoth trying to take our memory.
Yeah, so I still remember him, and I got nothing for it. What a ripoff.
Yes, same.
Higram, you hear a whisper in your ear. Don't worry. He'll get his for what he's done.
I look around a bit.
Something there?
Nothing. That was
No,
only
I'm
Higram.
talking
Only
to him.
Higram could hear it. Oh yeah. Okay.
He looked like he's like, what?
Thought I heard something. Do I know who he's talking about he'll get his?
You can assume that he's talking about whoever made you the offer.
Oh.
Yeah, so do we want to try for it tonight?
Yeah. I say the
I
sooner
mean, we
the
haven't
better.
had much chance to rest since we've been exploring the dungeon for a while.
Yes, we'll have plenty of time to rest, but I don't know how long we have to get our memories back, if that's what you still want to do. And it's kind of tricky for me, so I'd rather do it sooner than later, okay?
Yeah, I imagine that the longer you go without the memory, the harder it becomes to get it back.
I understand that's true, but I'd prefer our spellcasters to be able to cast all their spells.
We rested last
Oh, we
night. We
rested.
have our
Did we?
spells back.
Oh, I don't remember. All right, well then let's
Okay,
do it.
you don't have spells. It's probably hard to remember if you've gotten enough rest for them. Oh, you have things you make, I guess. Those are kind of like spells.
Yeah, I need to make more of those.
All right, well, we meet up tonight.
Sure.
All right. In general, outside of this grand plan, is there other things that you guys want to do in the downtime?
Well, yeah, we probably are passing out the money and selling whatever crap we have left to sell, right?
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of crap to sell.
We don't have actually that much to sell. Did someone
we
write it
offload
down?
some of it in the
Well, we had looted the entire corpse of our buddy. Like I'm sure he has stuff for us to sell.
Did anyone add the copper?
On the way out, I forgot how much it was.
Well, I had specifically said we're grabbing it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
if
that
we do that,
says
then I
we
have
grabbed
to.
it.
Okay, well, does
Yeah.
someone remember exactly how much it was?
4,920.
It's on the bag of holding.
It's on the bag of holding.
Oh, I did
Oh,
write it
nice.
right there. Okay. I was like, I wrote it somewhere, but I don't see where it is now. Because I was looking at my character sheet, not...
The problem is that will put you over the bag of holdings limit, but I'm sure you can find another way to carry that all up.
Right, so I have I use my amp.
Yeah, the purpose
That's
is
right.
he was going to ant haul and carry it.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't actually have that much stuff to sell because gems will just have money in gem worth.
Yep.
We have a few wands. We still have an unknown wand. I mean, we do have like a masterwork scale mail. Someone might buy that. We can see if someone wants this noble's outfit, the few other masterwork items.
Yeah, they will buy your masterwork weapons for 100 gold each.
So that's 300 for those three.
Yep, and they will buy your masterwork scale mail at about 70 gold.
All right, so 370 gold to add for all those items. Calculator 25.99 plus.
And then we can just take the copper and like get it exchanged for platinum or something.
Yeah, now that we're in town.
Yeah, you guys have a contact that'll take care of that for you. They will buy your arcane mark for the wand of arcane mark if you want to sell it for its bare minimum value of 50 GP, because they're basically going to drain the arcane energy from it.
I'll actually keep that if all we're gonna get is 50 gold out
Okay.
of it because it could be useful. Because then if I want to be able to arcane mark, I just don't have to prepare it.
Your unseen servant, however, they will give you about 400 gold for.
All right, well we can sell that one then because I don't really, unless someone particularly wants us to keep that.
Nope.
All right, so
Nope.
that'll put us at 33.69 gold. Take that off. Okay.
What is it? Unknown wand.
We weren't able to spellcraft it. Can I could have prepared actually identify this morning after we rested. So can I try to? Oh, we haven't leveled up.
You have not leveled up yet.
Oh, yeah,
so
I forgot to.
can't
I
retry
forgot
that
to
yet.
refresh my extracts.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
was gonna say I could guidance you and you could try just spellcraft.
She's
Yeah,
already
but I
done that and failed.
tried it once.
Oh.
So I can't retry using an identify spell, right? That doesn't let you.
Actually, I think identify. Let me double check.
Just linked it.
Yeah.
And with UMD, the most you can do is activate blindly, which is not great.
No, I would say identify would allow you to retry.
Okay, so
You're allowing a large amount of magical energy to influence things.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I'll
I
guidance
roll
you
like
before you
crap.
do it.
That's
Yeah,
still
so
a
only
24,
Oh, jeez.
right? Because it's plus 10, right? From or is it
Yeah,
plus
from
20?
identify.
You have a
Plus
10
10
enhancement bonus on
Yeah.
spellcraft checks. Yeah, is it 24 enough?
24.
That
Let
might
me
be
double
enough.
check.
I'd be surprised if this wand is stronger than that.
Let's see. 15 plus items caster level. Plus this. Which is a. Why does that value out like that then? That's so weird. Why would they measure that in coppers?
Copper system is superior.
No. That will give you what it is. This is a wand of speak with animals.
Oh shit.
Hmm.
Speak with Pavan!
Right? I was like thinking, oh, maybe we should keep that actually. Could be fun.
And it is full.
50 charges?
Yep.
Nice. Alright.
How much is it worth?
Not much.
I was gonna say, is it worth it to speak to the one?
Damn, savage.
Hey.
But is it though?
Does anyone
I
give
was
a
just
about
about
this
to say
noble's
it.
outfit?
You know what they are.
So this noble's outfit is one that no one is willing to buy.
Huh. Is there a reason? Do they tell us why they're not willing to buy it? Just out of curiosity.
Nope. They do not speak of it at all.
Probably belongs to a specific noble.
Like-
Can we know history or local or something?
You can try to knowledge history on it.
Yeah, sure. I'll
Anybody
try.
have that?
I'll
Yeah,
try.
That is not enough, Luna.
Damn.
Haha!
Better. Not a lot, but you know that this insignia has something to do with the old kingdom from long ago, but you don't exactly remember what. But you remember this insignia has something to do with the old castle that used to be here.
Is it one of those noble outfits that's made with 50 gold piece of gems that we can take out of it or something?
The way that it is detailed, you would destroy the outfit in order to take out the gems, but you could take out the gem work that's in it. It would just destroy the outfit.
The outfit might. Well, if they say that, I'll say. the
And
outfit
no one
might
is
be
willing
worth
to
more
appraise
later.
it for you beforehand, just FYI.
Oh, Jim. I was like, what is all of that?
Didn't Rusty have a praise?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, you can try to appraise the gem value.
Yeah, give me a sec.
There's about nice amount of gems in value on here.
Oh. I
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Nobody's willing to talk about it, so it might curse us or something if we destroy it. But I don't know. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't really care.
I'm fine with getting cursed.
I was like, I'm not fine with getting cursed, but money.
But fun.
Hey, my character, gotta play to my character. He cares about the money more than the curse. How much will it cost to remove the curse? Are the gems
Cost
worth
benefit
more?
analysis.
Are the gems worth more than the cost to remove
Yeah,
the curse?
yeah. Is there somewhere? Do we know if the mistress removes curses or if the Lars Temple removes curses?
I mean, they both remove curses.
And how much do they charge?
That you've never had to ask about.
Wait, didn't somebody have a really nice lock on there? Oh, it was Felix.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what happens to his property? I'm gonna go move into his house. It's
There's,
all nice.
there's still, you
I'm
guys would
joking.
have his key.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Just none of you know where he lives.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't friendly with us.
Nope.
So we don't. Oh well, nobody knows where I live either. I can't judge him.
Is there anything else you all want to sell off? Or what do you guys want to do with the outfit?
That is a lot of gems in this bag. The noble
I'm
outfit, I
adding
would
them
say, if
all.
somebody has a lot on their.
Oh
I
no,
didn't mean to
people
do that.
don't do this. I'm adding gems up right now.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I opened it back up. Sorry.
Oh no.
She lost count.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Oh god.
That's equally your fault. You should have let people know not to mess with it.
Poor
What
old
you're doing.
Michael Finnegan begin again.
Well, no one had been touching it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start over now. I lost my.
I feel bad. Okay, I'm over it. I'm evil. No. I forgot what I was about to say. Thanks to all the guilt.
All right, let's check how much a remove curse costs.
Oh no, I was
real
gonna
quick.
say, does somebody have a lock on their place? We could just put it in the closet or something in somebody's house, locked up. And then if we find somebody who knows a lot about the old kingdom or something, we can find out. Oh wait, isn't
Alright.
there a library here? Can we take it to the library and be like, hey, what does this insignia mean? Not take the outfit, but just like describe the insignia.
So
The insignia.
there isn't a real library here. Nothing that's like kept here has any real value to it. The books that exist in town have all been kind of gathered together by people with money. So most of the libraries have like really basic books. Like the most historical book you might find is like a book by what was his name? Not Jericho Carbinger. Theragage Thoronov, or a book on Shasta McGreely. But other than that, there aren't really any real historical books or books of any like significant value. Most of those have been smashed up.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just hold on to it until we see if maybe there's somebody specifically interested in the Old Kingdom or something. They might pay a ton for it.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
You will find that you can get a remove disease cast on you. Or not remove disease, remove curse. One second, I always forget what the cost is on this. Full spell level 10. That is... So of the people that are available, the minimum this would be about 210 gold per person. And they make no guarantees that the curse will be removed on first attempt.
Good to know for future Griffin.
And like being a member of the Temple of Lars, do I get like a discount?
You
or-
get access to this. This is not available
Okay.
if you're not a member of the temple.
Perfect.
And if it is the same price to get it from the Temple of the Mistress. However, the Mistress requires that you first share with them the memory of how you got the curse in the first place.
Fair.
So are we dividing these gems 4-way or 5 ways?
4 ways.
So it's 1,110 GP worth in gems.
How much?
1,110
Just the gems.
in just gems. Inventory plus 468.
I got a lot of gems. Jeez.
Did you already divide up the coin?
No,
Okay,
I converted it all to platinum.
gotcha.
So we have 483 platinum. So that would turn into 120 platinum each.
And you'll just leave the extra 3 gold in there?
Yeah. So that'll be 480. Yeah, the extra 3 platinum.
You said 120 platinum each?
Yes.
I think that gives everybody quite a bit of coin. Is there anything else you guys want to sell off?
Scrolls, I'll have to go through before I decide on that, see what's on my spell list and what I might want to try to learn. But yeah, we have all these potions. So are there any potions people want, or do we want to just like bulk sell these? So there's Oil of Light, Mage Armor, Purify Food and Drink, Ant Hall, Cure Light Wounds, 2 of them, Reduce Person, Sanctuary, Virtue, Arcane Mark, Endure Elements, Enlarge Person, Remove Fear, Remove Sickness, Resistance, Bark Skin, Vanish, Arcane Mark, 2 more lights, Blur, Cure Light Wounds again, Guidance, Invigorate, Jump, Magic Fang, Protection from Evil, Resist Fire, Resistance, Shield of Faith, and Virtue.
When you sell them in bulk, how much do you get for them?
Well,
Like,
Go ahead.
oh,
I was
No,
going to say, I think there were some potions that, depending on what they are, they'll buy at higher amounts and for better. And then the things that are kind of just like mediocre, I think they were buying in bulk. And I feel like the bulk price for like level 2 spells was like 25 GP each, which is like technically the price for like level 1. And level 1s were kind of like halved. So the bulk price on them, if I recall right, was kind of at half price, but that's for the shitty ones. If we're selling off ones they care about, then we're getting full price, if not even maybe slightly above full price.
Yeah.
But it just depends on which ones they like and which ones they don't give a shit about.
And of what you have here that they might find value in, all that they really see is obviously the cures they would give you value for. They would actually give you value for the Purify Food and Drinks right now. They would give you value for the Barkskin, the Blur, the Resist Fire, and I think the Enlarge Person, if I remember correctly. I just gotta look at the duration on Enlarge Person just to make sure.
And minutes a level.
Yeah, so, and the Enlarge Person.
I was gonna say the Vanish might come in handy in a pinch.
That's only gonna work for 1 round.
Oh, not at all. Maybe the Ant Hall for hauling out shit.
It's like, is that hours? Because I
Well,
think
I meant
that's
for
still
us.
only...
Yeah, Anthol's 2 hours a level.
Yeah, so it would only work for 2 hours. That's why they don't value it high, because a lot of these are likely at lowest caster level.
So I mean, is there anything people actually like want, and if so, like say so and move it to your character sheet, or else I'll just sell this all off.
Carrying stuff. Ugh.
Yep,
No, you
if
can
you
sell it
want it, you
all.
get to carry it. Okay,
Oh.
so did I have this right? Everything.
Yeah,
that
you do
don't
have this right.
value
It is
half price?
12 gold for all the 25 GP stuff.
25 for the 50, but the ones they
correct.
like, are they doing full
Though
price?
they will actually give you, they'll give you slightly below full price.
Slightly
for
below
them.
full price?
Yes, so
So...
they will give you essentially 80% of value.
God, I don't have value on some of these. God damn it.
Enlarged person is a like first level potion.
First level equivalents. That's a
So that's
that's
50
a 25.
GP. Yeah,
so
so they would give you 80% in this case, which would be what is that? That's 40, right?
I'll just write the.
So 40 gold is what they would pay you for those.
Okay.
So it would
I
be
just
40 gold for
realized
the
some
asterisk
of
50s, and then 240 gold for the asterisk 300 GP ones.
200. You how much? Sorry.
240. Yep.
240 for that one, and how much for the 50 GP ones?
They're 40.
40. Okay, and the 25 GP ones would be like 20?
They would give you 20 for them. Yep.
20 each. Okay. This one would be 40. I wrote that one. And the 300 was 240. Blair, I wrote that one. That one's 40. That one would be 240. Okay. So go through. So 12. I wish I had. Arcane Mark is a cantrip, so that would be a 25 GP'er. Endure Elements.
Arcane Mark
level-
would be a 12 GP'er because it's a 0th level.
I mean, just
Oh,
like
and it's
normal
cost.
price.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, normal. I'm putting a few of these didn't have their normal price in. Endure Elements is a first level, so that would be 50, right?
Yep.
Remove Fear, Remove Sickness. I don't know what levels those ones are. I don't
Remove
remember.
Sickness.
Resistance is a cantrip.
Remove Sickness is level 1 as well.
Okay, so that one's going to be a 50. And then Remove Fear.
Remove Fear, if I remember right, is also, let me check. Remove Fear is also level 1.
Okay, so then this will net us 12 plus 25. That one's going to give us 20 apiece, and we have 2 of them, so that's 40. That one's a shitty 50er, so they'll give us 25. That one, they give us 40, and we have 2, so that's 80. That one will be 25. That one's 25. We have 3 of these. They'll be 12 each, so that's 36. That one is 12. That one's 25. One of these at 40.
No.
Still a lot of money in freaking potions, man.
Yep.
12, 25, and 25. That divided by that, 350 gold each in potions.
$35 platinum. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, and I'll just have to spend some time looking at the scrolls.
Yep. Figuring out what you want to keep.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we might be able to sell off what's left for a little bit, but most of them are pretty low level cheap themes. I don't even know if people would want them.
All right. Well, I think with this, we know what your plan is for next session. Or at least part of your plan. What's some other stuff you guys want to get accomplished during your downtime?
I'm definitely planning on trying to spend some of this money, so hopefully
I
I
was
can
just
find
about to
some
say
gear.
shopping session.
Right. I mean, other than like shopping stuff.
I want to check with him and see if he had any, if he heard about any adventurers who might have met their demise, that we can go loot their stuff. Remember me and him had talked about that before?
Yep, I do.
I'm going to have a bunch of spells I want to learn. But after that, I was actually going to show this necromancy book we got to our new companion and see what he thinks of it.
Okay.
As I search through the city, I'd probably look for anyone I would think that could identify if these books are valuable at all that I picked up. So I may inadvertently run into that Elizabeth or whatever her name was.
Yep, you very likely will.
I'm gonna have Felix walking around with me, so I don't know if Henry ever sees him or some
Oh,
shit.
God.
Awkward.
Or Elizabeth, when you go to see her, and you
True.
just have this Felix, and she's like,
Poor Henry, man. That guy's only friend is now dead.
I can be his new friend.
How about you, Rusty?
Hmm?
What do you want to do during downtime?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Silvio,
I'll
anything?
probably. I was just gonna say I'll probably go check back in with I'm blanking on the dude's name right now, but the
Honorine?
yeah, him.
Yep, he'll probably have some questions about the strangely scented man in the fish market. Silvio, what else you got? Any other stuff you want to get accomplished?
No, I'm pretty much gonna be just doing shopping and training.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, I think that is where we'll wrap up this session. Thanks for watching. Good night.